If you've ever woken up in the morning and said to yourself, today is going to be great, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. Today is going to be the Thursday, October 16th, 2025 edition. We got to cover some earnings that have started here. JB Hunt popping on some earnings yesterday. TSM reporting it here this morning. And boy, oh boy, do I have a rigetti spaghetti story for you today. We have Futures Fever here today. We have an all access here today, jam-packed all morning long. It's going to be a good Thursday, and I'm thrilled to see a whole bunch of returning faces. Let's not waste any more time. Benzinga's pre-market playbook for Thursday, October 16th, starts right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. I hope that you all had a great rest of your Wednesday evening. I watched the Blackhawks score 8 goals against the rival St. Louis Blues yesterday. Went to sleep happy, woke up even happier. Now we have another market day to get through. We have a football game tonight, and we are one day closer to that ever elusive weekend. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here today. As mentioned, Francis is first. Early bird getting the worm here today. Way to go, Francis. Good morning. Richard Judge, good morning. Good to have you back, Judge. Azrar, good morning. Renee, good morning. Kayla, good morning. Yes, that girl, good morning. Crimp Biscuit, good morning. Dee, good morning. Catherine, cardioid artery surgery this morning. Y'all don't let the market go crazy without me. Wow, Catherine. Well, I hope that everything goes well. Chat, let's get prayers up for Catherine and make sure that that goes smoothly. Catherine, when can we expect you back? We're going to be worried. Good luck, and we are definitely pulling for you. Thank you, Brian, for offering that without even being asked. Much appreciated. D, good morning. Kelly, good morning. Kevin, good morning. Reaching Financial Freedom, good morning. Corey, good morning. Sun-Kissed Yogi, good morning. Ryan, good morning. Chuck, Brandy, and Neville, good morning, and welcome back. Michelle, good morning, and indeed, happy Thursday. Alvin, with a bunch of exclamation points. Good morning, Alvin. Welcome back. Producer is locked in. Got to be honest, producer is absolutely hilarious. If I ever need a laugh, I just ping the producer, even if it's 12 o'clock at night, his time. I ping him. He makes me laugh. Good stuff. Cam, good morning. Big Bear Hug, good morning. Candace, good morning. Just passing through, good morning. Joseph, good morning. Austin, good morning. Go Getta. Love that. Love that. Hello. Good morning. Workstation. Good morning. Tennis. Ryan, brother, how is life? Dude, it is great. It is great. Speaking of tennis is life, if I get Pete Sampras to rewind the clock 30 years and start playing again, it'd be even better. Day Trader, good morning. Dreams, like the video. Yes, please like the stream. I think that's what you mean. Good morning, welcome, and appreciate it. Tom, good morning. Maz, good morning. Dan, good morning. Fatty Liver King, good morning. Boom. Faves, good morning. Dark Side Hemi, good morning. Kona, AC, and Maverick, good morning. Ari's Stock Market. Yo, Vancouver is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. Spent a couple of nights there on my way up to Whistler. It is phenomenal. You probably have an amazing view from where you're at. I would guess. That's what I would guess, Ari Stock Market. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back. Hockey player, good morning. What a game for the Blackhawks. Yo, I'm not used to the Blackhawks looking like that, and I'm here for it. No question. Zach, good morning. Cam, good morning. Gilbert, good morning. Knoxville, Tennessee. Love it. JP, good morning. Paulo, good morning. JJ, good morning. Zach, good morning. Special K, good morning. Captain Cloudy, good morning. Stellanos, good morning. I got it. Zoo, good morning. And Crimp Biscuit. All right. Sampras was a server, not a returner. Sampras had one of the best serves that I've ever seen. That serve and volley game was just something else. Pistol Pete, my favorite to ever do it. My favorite to ever do it. Yeah, I agree. Djokovic is better, but Sampras still my absolute favorite. Okay. J.A., good morning. Angelito, good morning. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the stock market today. All right, futures in the green across the board here today. S&P futures up 0.4 plus 0.4%. Dow futures up 0.17%, and the NASDAQ futures up 0.6 or 0.6%. Let's take a look at some cues from the last session here. Gains in real estate, utilities, and communication services stocks led most sectors on the S&P 500 to a positive close on Wednesday, while materials and industrials bucked the overall market trend and closed lower. Among major earnings reports on Wednesday, Bank of America and Morgan Stanley both topped street expectations. And as mentioned, Morgan Stanley said that the IPO and investment banking pipeline looks robust. Something to keep under your hat for early 2026. Investors are also awaiting earnings results from Charles Schwab, which we just got here this morning, Travelers, and U.S. Bancorp also today. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve's latest Beige Book report revealed that tariffs implemented by President Trump's administration are translating to higher costs for businesses, with the financial burden increasingly being passed on to consumers. We need the spooky music for October and Halloween to go along with that. The 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.02%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.5%. Remember, it was just several weeks ago where we were hearing that the Treasury yields, especially the 10-year, was really going to creep up if we kept getting cuts. So far, that is not what we've seen. Now, we do have some stocks in focus here today. Salesforce, ticker CRM, jumped 4.01% as it set a revenue goal of over $60 billion by fiscal year 2030, not including any contribution from Informatica. The target suggests an organic compound annual growth rate of over 10% from fiscal year 26 to fiscal year 30. CRM maintained a stronger price trend over the short term, but a weak trend in the medium and the long terms with a robust growth ranking. This has me wondering, we've seen Tim set up several of these. This has me wondering if it's got an intact short-term trend, no intact medium or long-term trend, and high growth. Maybe we're starting to turn the corner for another uptrend here. That's Salesforce, ticker CRM. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise also makes this list, ticker HPE. It tumbled 9.19% as its third quarter results showed record revenue thanks to AI demand, while strategic restructuring costs compressed the company's profit margins. Charles Schwab, ticker SCHW, was 1.94% higher ahead of its earnings before the opening bell. Analysts estimate earnings of $125 per share on revenue of $5.99 billion. Now, we did get a 131 EPS beat. We did get 131 on the EPS. That beat the 125 estimate. We also had 6.13 billion in sales. That beat the 6 billion sales estimate. So a beat on the top and the bottom line. Charles Schwab trading up here in the pre-market, closed at 94, currently trading at 98 and change. Ticker JB Hunt, ticker JBHT, that jumped 12.44%. The options were implying a 10% move. JB Hunt beating that after reporting better than expected third quarter earnings and sales results. Earnings of $176 per share beat the consensus estimate of $147 per share, and revenue came in at $3.05 billion, which beat the street estimate of $3.02 billion. U.S. Bancorp, ticker USB, shares were up 0.24%. Shares were 0.24% lower ahead of its earnings before the opening bell. Analysts estimate earnings of $113 per share on revenue of $7.16 billion. We actually got $122 on the EPS, which beat the $113 estimate, and we also saw $7.3 billion, which beat the $7.16 billion estimate. So another beat on the top and bottom line for ticker USB. All right, let's get some insight here from analysts. BlackRock is maintaining its overweight stance on U.S. equities, asserting that this year's weaker dollar is, quote, not a statement on U.S. assets, end quote. In its latest weekly commentary, the investment firm dismisses concerns that the dollar's slide threatens its reserve currency status, instead attributing the decline to predictable market factors. The firm's analysis identifies two primary drivers for the dollar's depreciation: market expectations for the Federal Reserve rate cuts and rising term premiums on bonds due to global fiscal concerns. Quote, we think the dollar has moved up in step with historical drivers, not broken with them, end quote. Rather than a negative sign, BlackRock views potential Fed easing as a tailwind for American companies. The firm believes, quote, rate cuts amid a notable slowing of activity without recession should support U.S. stocks and the AI theme, end quote. This optimistic outlook is also backed by stronger corporate earnings and profitability in the U.S. relative to other developed markets. Within U.S. fixed income, the firm is overweight on agency mortgage-backed securities and short-term investment-grade credit. Now, as far as some upcoming economic events, here's what we're going to be looking for. Philadelphia Fed manufacturing survey data for October. That'll be out at 8:30. We're actually looking for that in about 20 minutes. Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin will speak at 8, 12:45, and 4:30. Busy day for Mr. Barkin there. September U.S. retail sales, initial jobless claims, August's business inventories, and headline core PPI data will be delayed because of the ongoing shutdown. October's Home Builders Confidence Index will be released at 10. Fed Governor Stephen Miron will speak at 9 and 4:15, and Christopher Waller will speak at 9, and Michelle Bowman will speak at 10. All right, let's dive into some more of those stories. We talked a little bit about one of the stocks in focus, which is CRM. In fact, let me go back to the chart here. You know what? We definitely have to go back to the chart because we're going to take a look at SPY, and then we're going to take a look at CRM. Let me go ahead and share the Pro tab here. We'll start with SPY. Here's where we're at. Now, the key here is that yesterday we closed 66517. You'll notice that the 20-day moving average is 66525. So basically, we were right under that. And then here today, we are still right under the 20-day moving average. Would love to see if this could get comfortably above that 20-day moving average and close there. That would be great going into tomorrow and for a potential uptrend. It's also worth noting that we have several levels here from previous all-time highs. It looks like if we trade up at all here today, we are going to trade into that range. We'll see if we can hold it, maybe close in there, maybe even test the top end of that range. If we do get rejected and see another sell-off here today, one of the first spots that we're going to be looking for is going to be yesterday's intraday low. I've got this value down here at 660 even. It does overshoot it here on the chart, but really 660 is going to be one of the levels that we're looking at. And then furthermore, beneath that, we have the 50-day moving average down there at 654.08. Let's just call it 654. So this is what our SPY chart looks like. This is what some of our key levels look like. And we'll see what the market gives to us today on the back of some of these really good earnings. We'll also take a look here, as I mentioned, at CRM before we dive into the story. Here's where the chart is. Now, there's a couple of things going on with this chart. First of all, we had a potential head and shoulders here. But I admit I don't feel great about the formation of this right shoulder. So we'll see if this actually does result in a down move. Given what we saw here today, again, CRM trading up by about 6% here today, you can see what that actually does. That gaps us above the 20 and the 50-day, and perhaps more importantly, this trend line that originates back in May, very clearly in a downtrend, trading against the 230 support that we have marked off here, which goes all the way back to 2023. That's really been our support level. Stock here is at 251, so we've moved off that 230 level, and now we're broken the trend line. To me, this signals that we might want to trade up to the top end of this range this sideways range that we've formally identified. And lo and behold, that's really, really close to your 200-day. That's at 274 3/4. So we'll see if we can trade up to and then perhaps through and close above that 200-day. That would be a really constructive move for the Salesforce chart. Let's talk a little bit about the news. As mentioned, they did rise 3.56% in after-hours trading on Wednesday. They're actually a little bit higher here today. Earlier in the week, the cloud-based software company announced that its expanded strategic partnership with Sam Altman and OpenAI and a $15 billion investment in San Francisco over 5 years. Salesforce set a revenue goal of over $60 billion for fiscal year 2030, not including any contribution from Informatica. This target suggests an organic compound annual growth rate of over 10% from fiscal year 26 to fiscal year 30. The San Francisco-based company also unveiled its 50 by fiscal year 30 profitable growth framework, aiming for the sum of its consistent currency subscriptions and support growth rate plus its non-generally accepted accounting principles operating margin to reach 50 by the end of fiscal year 2030. Social media reactions highlighted the $60 billion target and company rule of 50 framework announcement. For anyone that actually wants to go through this, I know CRM is a pretty popular stock amongst here. We talk a lot about cybersecurity as being a theme. That's still one of my themes here for this year. I actually haven't traded it as much as I liked. Mostly because I missed a really good entry on PanW earlier. Several of you folks caught that, which makes me happy, but still, CRM definitely in focus here. Salesforce data and AI business hit $1.2 billion in revenue in the second quarter, marking 120% year-over-year increase. Combined with Agentforce, its platform for building autonomous AI agents, the company's total agentic AI annual recurring revenue reached approximately $440 million. More than 12,000 customers have adopted Agentforce data, including well-known brands such as Dell, FedEx, Pandora, Pepsi, and Williams-Sonoma. Mark Benioff, chair and CEO, said Agentforce is the center of this shift, our fastest growing organic product ever. Chief Financial Officer Robin Washington added that the platform reflects more than $10 billion in organic research and development spending since the start of fiscal year 24. Salesforce shares are down 29.25% in 2025. 29.24% so far in 2025. The stock reached a high of $359.95 in January 28th and has since fallen to 236 as of Wednesday's close, marking a 34.27% drop. This is why I wanted to highlight the fact that there's a short-term uptrend, and perhaps this trend reversal is taking place right now. This actually coming on a pretty good piece of news here today. So you'll have to let me know what you think about CRM. Are you going to trade this? Let me know if you come up with any trades. Big B's looking at you. I know you trade this quite often. Let me know what you think here. All right. Next, we kind of talked over, this was mentioned briefly by our good friend Markets and Mayhem yesterday. Didn't really talk about it. I'm curious to get the reaction here from the group. There's no question about that. Volatility Shares, a pioneer in crypto-themed ETFs, has submitted a filing to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission seeking to roll out a line of extremely levered products, such as the 5X ETFs that follow Bitcoin, Ether, Ripple, and Solana, as well as volatile stocks like Coinbase, Strategy, Tesla, and Alphabet. Who here is excited for 5X levered products? That's what I want to know. Who is getting ready to trade these things? As if the 2 and 3X products weren't enough, now we've got 5X products, and they're doing this on the back of things that are volatile like crypto. That should be fun. Day trader, I'm definitely interested in what you think this will mean. And also, is stuff like, I know that you're actually into the crypto itself, the underlying asset, but are any of these interesting to you? If sanctioned, the suite would consist of 27 products across 3 and 5X leverage levels effective as of December 29th, marking them perhaps the riskiest crypto-tied products offered to American investors. Reactions to this reflect the unbelievable nature of the bet. Quote, nothing like this has been approved before, and it probably won't go live. But I mean, if it does, the ETF space will get crazy, end quote. That was from an X user there. SA3X says, I'm already sweating. Day Trader says, I trade crypto futures with 25 and 40X leverage. So this is much ado about nothing for him. Barry the Goat says, I'm in. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. For anyone that wants to track this or go through some of the tweets, let me throw the story here in the chat. You can go ahead and add any of these to your watch list if you'd like. A 5X leverage ETF amplifies price swings on a daily basis by 5 times. In reality, a 2% swing in Bitcoin, which it does basically just on the regular, a 2% swing in Bitcoin or Ethereum might shift the ETF by 10% one day up or down. Daily rebalancing required to maintain the leverage level brings its own set of risks. Every night, the fund purchases after profits and sells after losses. This can accrue against investors over time in choppy markets. Even if Bitcoin ends the week up, a 5X ETF may lag due to these nightly resets, especially in illiquid assets like Ripple. So this paragraph right here is saying that, at least at the beginning here, and Day Trader, I would lean on you with some of your experience trading some of these higher leveraged products. This to me seems like they're saying, yeah, there's actually some increased risk simply by holding the ETF overnight. During the day here, these might make great day trading vehicles, especially if Bitcoin is just moving modestly. These here could be moving double-digit percent. So definitely good day trade targets, but they're basically warning you here that even the nightly rebalance might cause your position to go more against you. And then day trader here, I like this. Based on that paragraph, I have zero interest in that. So it sounds to me, day trader, like instead of venturing down these levered ETF roads, you're just going to stick with the actual underlying asset, which you've been doing for what, how many years now? So pretty much ado about nothing here for you. You're just going to stick with that. Kind of makes sense. Anyway, if anyone does mess around with these, I'd like to hear about it. If I do, I'll for sure let you know. The filing does not happen in a vacuum. U.S. markets have come close to dramatic leverage previously. 4 shares have offered 4x ETFs in 2017, temporarily receiving SEC approval before the action was reversed, while Velocity shares 4x currency-linked exchange-traded notes were closed in 2020. European markets have experience with 5x leveraged offerings, yet their uptake remains niche compared to this prospective U.S. demand. Now, existing SEC regulations under Rule 18F-4 provide guardrails on leveraged funds employing derivatives, with risk managers being required to estimate the value at risk, or VAR, to restrict excessive losses. While the rule offers substantial room for discretion, permitting firms to stretch the limits provided VAR calculations are set within limits. The filing comes in the back of crypto markets recovering from an unprecedented $19 billion liquidation event earlier this week, highlighting the highly volatile environment for such outsized instruments. For investors, Velocity shares' aggressive approach is both tempting and perilous at once. While upside potential is high, danger of quick compound losses mean these 5x ETFs are appropriate only for high volatility tolerant investors or those with financial thrill-seeking bent. So there you go. We got a poll up here. Thank you, producer. 5x leverage ETFs. Can't wait to trade them, or too much risk for me. Get your votes in. Appreciate you, producer. Okay. Next here, this is my favorite story of the morning here, because we're talking about trading this, and it is, of course, on Rigetti Spaghetti. Now, I may have made a mistake yesterday. We'll see how it plays out here today. We did have a move higher in the RGTZ short. I didn't have a huge position in that, so I actually just closed it for a gain yesterday, and I didn't have any going into today. Part of the reason for that is because I suspected, you know what, I wouldn't even be terribly shocked if Rigetti gaps up tomorrow, and I might have an opportunity to add this at a lower price midday, or maybe even in the pre-market. When I woke up today, Rigetti was actually trading lower. Here's what it looks like on the intraday chart. We've basically been leaking a little bit here in the pre-market. We'll see if this rolls over here and then breaks yesterday's intraday low. I sold at about right down here yesterday, so I didn't quite bottom ticket, if you will, but I did pretty well on the trade, despite not really having a whole lot of shares. So if I get an opportunity to maybe even nibble here today, I will do that. I definitely want to see how this trades out of the open. But let's go back to the daily chart. You can see how extended this thing is, and a simple pullback, just a regression back to the mean, would make for a pretty profitable trade. Here's the story, though. Rigetti CEO Subodh K. Kulkarni exercised options to convert 1 million shares on May 21st, 2025, and immediately sold them, leaving him with 0 shares. In a growth tech environment where executive ownership signals conviction, this move has ignited questions about leadership commitment at the quantum computing startup. Definitely want to get your folks' thought on that. We talk about insider buys and sells here all the time. I want to know what you think about a guy exercising a contract for 1 million shares and then immediately dumping them. According to Benzinga Pro Insider data, Kulkarni's 0 share position stands out. Other insiders, including director Ray O. Johnson, have sold shares recently, adding to the scrutiny. These filings reveal patterns that some investors interpret as a lack of confidence, sparking debates over whether Rigetti's leadership is genuinely committed to the company's long-term vision. Now, stop me if you've heard this before, but skepticism happens to be running high on Reddit here. Investor sentiment on Reddit has been candid and critical. One user bluntly remarked, quote, "Quantum is totally overhyped and overbought," end quote. And before you ask, no, it wasn't Martin. This is someone else on Reddit. Another warned about the broader sector, highlighting the strength in IBM and Alphabet. Quote, all pure quantum is a scam. The only listed company which is actually trustworthy is IBM and maybe Alphabet, end quote. Some even saw the move as justified. Quote, Rigetti CEO is one of the few honest people in quantum. I'm sorry for laughing. I'm doing my best here. Rigetti CEO is one of the few honest people in quantum. He openly stated that revenues are not coming anytime soon and that the company is overvalued. Of course he's selling shares. It's consistent with what he said. Rigetti's lack of insider ownership doesn't necessarily predict performance. We've covered that a lot. Tim Melvin has done a really good job explaining both buys and sells and what to look for over the past, and I'm sure he'll continue to do that. But in a sector already scrutinized for hype and unproven commercial models, a CEO holding 0 shares is unusual. For a company promising breakthroughs in quantum computing, investor confidence is partly tethered to whether leadership is personally betting on success. As Rigetti races to commercialize quantum technology, all eyes are on whether its executive actions align with the lofty promises, or whether Kulkarni's 0 share stance is a cautionary signal for investors. The stakes are high, and in the world of quantum computing, conviction, or lack thereof, can be just as important as the technology itself. And of course, Rigetti did not immediately respond to requests for comments. So I have to know, we've talked a lot about this. We've traded this a little bit. I know a ton of you made an absolute fortune on the upside, and I am so happy about that. Some of you might still hold some of this. That's okay too. Make sure you have an exit plan. But does this give you cause for concern? Or in another example, if you do not have a position, are you more inclined to maybe open up some short exposure on this, whether it's an actual short, puts on Rigetti, or one of those inverse ETFs? Lion here wasting no time. This is a red flag. This is a red flag. Fatty Liver King saying RGTZ calls. And you know what? We were just trading the stock, Fatty Liver King. They don't have options yet. RGTZ does not have options yet. Checking right now, no options chain. But you bring up a really good point here. This is definitely something to watch, because we've seen when option chains are released for some of these stocks or ETFs, it can have an impact on the price. So while there's no options yet, I would imagine we're going to get that here at some point pretty soon. That could be a hell of a play. Lion says, I can't wait. I can't wait. Okay. Lion, well, you know what? You're not going to have to wait, because the next story here is for you. You were talking about this yesterday. Almost every day, a new gold price forecast, hits the wire. But what dropped Thursday, not from Lion Atlas, but from Ed Yardeni, could make even the bulls blink. Veteran Wall Street strategist Ed Yardeni declared that gold may be headed to 10,000 per ounce. Lion, are you stealing his notes? Are you breaking into his office? It's time for you to come clean here. No one's going to call the police. You need to let me know, though, if you're taking stuff from Ed Yardeni, because I believe, if I recall correctly, you were also floating a 10,000 price target for gold yesterday. In any case, Yardeni declared that gold may be headed to 10,000 per ounce by the end of the decade or sooner, calling the metal, quote, physical Bitcoin. Someone do a wellness check on Peter Schiff here. Make sure he's okay after hearing that. Good Lord. In a sharply worded note that questions the staying power of digital assets in an increasingly unstable world. Quote, Bitcoin has been described as digital gold, but we see gold as physical Bitcoin. I'm sorry for laughing. This is awesome. The implication, while Bitcoin may still be popular among high-risk tolerant investors, gold is emerging as the true go-to asset in a world now defined by de-dollarization, sanction risks, and trade upheaval. This is literally what Lion has been pounding the table on. Literally, Lion's trying to say that he steals from me. LOL. LOL. Yeah, Lion. That's actually a really good answer. I did not expect you to say that. Really quickly here, so far in 2025, gold, as tracked by the ticker GLD, that's the Spider Gold ETF, has soared more than 60%, making it its best year since 1979, while Bitcoin has gained just 20%, underperforming some of the precious metals. Quote, the surging gold price has already exceeded our year-end target of 4,000 per ounce, end quote. That again came from Yardeni in the note. While metal trading is well above that level, the expert now predicts 5,000 gold by 2026 and potentially 10,000 by 2030 or sooner. So it goes. I don't need to go through the rest of this. We're actually going to talk to David Green here in a second. I'm sure he's probably going to be looking at gold. Here's the article if you want to go through any more of this, or maybe even click back through some of the links there for Yardini and all of that. Wild stuff here. Wild stuff. We'll see where gold ends up going here. So wanted to finish the news there with a futures piece of news. That makes my segue a lot easier. Let's go ahead and start futures forward. Let me go ahead and bring on David. David, good morning. How you doing, boss?
Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing really good, man. My Blackhawks just absolutely put the St. Louis Blues in the hurt locker. Phenomenal about that. It's good to see some of my teams finally getting wins after a number of years.
Well, my Rangers made history, at least.
What was it? What's the stat?
First team in the history of the NHL to get shut out in their first 3 home games.
That's not the stat that they wanted, David. I am sorry that that's what you're sharing with me here today, but it is what it is. Okay, let's get right down to brass tacks here. I don't know if you were able to hear me finishing up there, but I was talking a little bit about gold. I'm assuming you're going to cover that, but you got the ES up here right now. What's going on? What are you seeing? Where are the orders?
Absolutely nothing. Let's look at the SPYs first. And again, we've had some really nice volatility over the last week or so. So looking at the SPYs on a bigger chart, we talked about this last week. On our weekly chart, we got exactly down to our trend line with that big giant pullback down to like the 46 or 47 level, but we never broke even our 9 EMA on the weekly trend line. So gave us a couple of signals to get long down there when we had that one little tiny pullback. Listen, the market climbs a wall of worry, right? That's the bottom line. We got Trumpsky and China fighting with each other every single day. We can get trumped at any moment. It happened a couple of times during the week where we had these big giant moves up or down. Nothing anybody can do about that. ES is right now, we got a couple of orders out. We got an order out to buy down on our 200 EMA. That would be about a 12-point move down from here. And let's see, we got our previous day high all the way up at 76, maybe a double top from this morning, but kind of flat line. Gold has been the trade. Gold has been where probably we have gotten 90% of our trades in the last week or so. Volatility has been great. Technicals have been working very well. Are we due for a pullback? People have been saying that for 1,000 points in gold. So I heard you guys talking 5,000, 6,000, to us.
Possibly 10 by 2030, David, possibly 10,000.
Unfortunately, this is another one that Green Jeans missed the boat on as far as owning gold. But it's been a great trading vehicle. Here's our daily chart. We're over an 80 RSI again, okay? We did get this one pullback here when we got to about an 85 RSI, which we did trade, and we made a couple of banana skins on that one-day pullback, about 50 points. Again, we're over an 80 RSI again, but we've been over an 80 RSI for 4 days. So I don't like it when we just stay above the 80 RSI. We like this quick spike above, and then we can play the pullback. Getting stretched again. We're 50 points above the, our daily trend line, which if we go back, Ryan, look at this for months. It has never broken the trend line.
Nope.
Every time this pulled back to the trend line on a daily chart, it has just been a buy. Weekly chart is even more ridiculous. I mean, look at this weekly chart. Weekly chart, we're almost at a 90 RSI on a weekly chart. I don't think I've seen that in any instrument, let alone the gold, spiders, stocks. I mean, I don't think I've seen that. Again, we can go broke. We can go insolvent long before something starts to turn around. So,
this is the type of move we want to be selling into. Hopefully, if you've got some of it, you want to be selling into this move, not buying up here.
1,000,000,000%. I mean, look, it's like maybe it goes to 5,000, but if I'm a long-term investor in gold, I would almost bet you're going to get a better entry at some point. At some point, whether it's 6 months from now or 3 months from now, you're going to have a 10, 20% pullback in this thing. I mean, right now we are, 500 points. Yeah.
David, let me throw a hypothetical at you. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. You've been doing this a long time. You've seen a lot of changes in these markets. I'm gonna put you on the spot. if we get maybe, let's say, within a 2-week period, a deal with China where it appears both sides are happy and an official end to the Ukraine war, do you think that that is enough to maybe bring gold in for a pullback? Maybe have investors out there thinking, you know what, maybe we've been worrying a little too much. I'll take a break here on gold.
Yeah, 100%. It's getting to the point now where people are kind of looking for an excuse for it to pull back. So that could probably be a nice catalyst for it to happen, if that happens. And I think this whole China thing is a lot of bluster, as it has been since we started with them. You know, we're going 200%. 10 minutes later, we're okay. I love you. So I think it's a whole lot of bluster. I think we will get a deal. I think that will get settled. If we get something done in the Ukraine, that would be beautiful. You know, if we go to our SPY daily chart, again, we have recaptured all the important levels to the downside, and we're back above all our moving averages again. You know, lots of volatility. What are we? I don't know, 1%, 1.5% below all-time highs again. Earnings season is upon us, so that's going to go a long way as to what this next big move in the market will be, whether it's up or down. So we'll see. We got a couple of weeks before the big ones start coming out. Just had a beautiful setup in gold, guys and girls. Check this out. A bunch of people in the room got it. So we went down about 10 points, and we hit our 65 EMA, one of our support levels. That was right around 51.50, and we just spiked up 14 points, and we're making new highs. I have a level at 42.84, which is up 20 points from here. So we're definitely going to throw a shorty out there for the opening, but I am looking to get long gold for a trade on a pullback to one of our technical levels. And we got it this morning, but let's throw out 42.84.50. Probably have a fib somewhere before that. We do a lot of trading based on Fibonacci's, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And that basically, for everybody who doesn't know, it's just retracement levels. We take the high, the low to the high, and we look for a 28 or a 38 or a 50% retracement, and we get a lot of our trades based on that. But let's throw this out there, 42.84.
Okay, well, you're putting that out there. Let's go to Peter and see if he's got an update for us this morning. Peter, good morning. How you doing today?
What's up? I'm great, everybody. How you doing?
We're doing good. What do you got for us so far?
You know what? Look, it's an absolutely fascinating market. On Friday, obviously, you know, we've been looking for what is it that's going to break the market. What are they going to be able to throw at the market? I'll meet you on the other side. What are they going to throw at the market that's going to finally break it? And we couldn't really figure it out day after day. And then obviously Friday came along, and it was basically the president of China and our president, two very large egos. And there's nothing that the market hates worse than the mention of China and tariffs. So it was all about rare earth minerals. That was the first thing that sort of catalyzed Friday's sell-off, and it was significant. No way around it. It's 2.5%. Market sold off hard, and we ended up closing down 180 handles on the S&P, which was significant. It was a broad-based sell-off. In fact, after the market closed, we sold off another 70 handles, as much as down 250. However, normally, historically, when you have something like that on a Friday, coming into a weekend, and you close at the low, more times than not, you see a gap down on Monday, and then sort of a capitulation and a further selling, and then a rally. Well, what ended up happening was the narrative over the weekend was so significantly tampered down around what was going on, the argument around, it was like basically President Xi and President Trump in the playground, in the sandbox, really angry at each other. Over the weekend, the narrative got tamped down a lot as opposed to getting escalated. And also people's focus was on the Middle East and the hostage release. So it was not escalated over the weekend. So by the time we came in on Monday, people were sort of positive. Already on Saturday, the market turned and we started to see a rally. So we came in on Monday, super strong rally, but it started the volatility. It started the fact that we know now that there's a new narrative going on between China and the U.S. Right now, we've got earnings season going on, which is significant. Give me a second, guys. We've got earnings season going on, which is significant. And the banks came out. Most of them did quite well. However, the debate book on Tuesday came out, which basically takes the temperature of the economy. Hold on, guys. Takes the temperature of the economy. And that was a little weaker than anticipated. But we're still in the midst of a government shutdown.
Hey, guys, can post a link to.
Are you hearing me, guys?
Yeah, we're hearing you fine. What's going on, David?
Nothing. All good. I just
So
gold just
we-
had a big spiked out. But go ahead, Pete. It's all good.
we've got a sort of a breakdown in communication as far as economic data coming in. So everybody's kind of driving a little bit blind. Tuesday, we came in. We were down in the morning, and the market rallied back significantly, which is showing that a number of things. People are looking forward to the earnings, which are solid. Guidance has been
Guys,
good.
sell gold. Sell gold. Sell gold.
And then, secondly, people are sort of looking for. They can't imagine. For some reason, the market is not engaging this government shutdown in any kind of a negative way. So Tuesday, we opened down, rallied up, closed at the high of the day virtually. But we are still at the risk of the tweets. Yesterday, market that happened Tuesday and Wednesday, both times the market. Yesterday, there was a tweet that came out that China, in fact, was not buying our soybeans that we did not really know about. And then Mr. Trump took his ball, left the playground, said, well, if you're not buying our soybeans, we're not going to buy your cooking oil. We'll find it elsewhere. And that was that sort of midday dip we saw on Tuesday and on Wednesday. So we're just heading into a season where we're sort of bound by the tweets, right? In the middle of the day. And look, I know a number of people who've been trading the last couple of days, I'm sure as far with David's group too, where you're in a trade for all the right reasons. We're just one tweet away from crazy town. And then, and the market gets sold off 50 handles in your face when things even look good. So that's what everybody needs to be, aware of. That's why.
Ryan, you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, we just made our whole day, guys and girls. I want to show you, Ryan. Look at gold.
I'll pass it back to Davey. Go, Davey.
Thanks, Pete. Look at gold, guys and girls. We had our order out at 42.42. That was our VWAP. It smacked us down there, and we took 6 points out of that trade, both on our regular trading accounts and on our Apex accounts. So we just made our entire day on one trade in gold on that big swoop down. So we're going to be on cruise control for the rest of the day as far as trading is concerned. Technicals. We ripped all the way down there exactly to our pivot point. We just rallied $10 off that. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the news was. I have no idea, but it exactly hit our technical level. Pete, you can come back. It's all good, my friend. I just wanted to point out that trade.
Also, let me pick up where I was talking. Look, we know now that the market will normally, lately, the market and gold are trading in concert with each other. And that's sort of fascinating. That usually does not happen, right? But they're buying everything they can get their hands on. Maybe what happened with David's trade on the spike, was it a spike on gold, Davey, or a sell-off?
Sell-off. It spiked down $18 to an exact technical level.
And how it went, and what's the spider doing at the same time? Is it trading up?
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. It's an inverse trade. What's happening when markets start to trade in these levels of volatility, we go back to the normal flight to safety, right? So either when the market spikes up, they sell gold. When gold sells off, they buy the market. That's the normal trade. That's the historic trade, flight to safety. People want to be able to hold something in their hand. And so as a hedge to markets, people buy gold. It's physical. It has inherent value. And that usually happens when they sell the market off. What's been happening lately is so unusual, where they buy the market, they buy Bitcoin, and they buy gold. So that's the trade David just set up for you. It's obviously now going back to that sort of volatile trading inversely with each other. But there's still a lot going on. So we've got this narrative going on with China, okay, and that we're going to, it's funny, as everyone's been trading for the last 6 months, they know if you actually go back to Trump 1.0, the first time that Trump was in Davos, the economic forum, that was the first time in his first administration. That was the first time he mentioned tariffs and China. And the market sold off. It was a Tuesday at 11 o'clock. I have a crazy photographic memory. Market sold off 1,400 points, actually going into bear territory. By definition, by the end of the day, we had rallied 2,800 points and closed up 1,400 points. That changed the whole nature of the business when in one day over lunch, the market went from a bear market to a bull market, which is crazy. But it set the stage for everyone to know that when we are in talks with China, it's our largest trading partner, but our most contentious trading partner. And it's obviously two massive global leaders who have huge egos, and that's going to cause major problems. It's like, I'm taking my ball, I'm leaving the playground, to heck with everybody. And it's a very Trump President Z type of a thing. So you got a government in shutdown. We still don't know when that's going to end. you're going to start to see that eke away at the market. The market is so resilient. It's absolutely insane. But people are once again going to be trading. The lifeblood of this market are earnings and guidance. And once again, the banks are showing that the consumer, the key to the bank earnings release is there an impact of tariffs on the banks? That's the key thing. And so far, they're not showing that, because that then shows the effect on the consumer and consumer sentiment, right? That relationship between consumers and banks, the health of the banking statement and the consumers, that's important. So we're seeing that tariffs are not impacting consumers as much. There are parts of the trading community that feels that the market is weak. It's due for a major sell-off. There's a massive bet that happened last Friday. Somebody put on a $20 billion trade.
I didn't do that. That was him dropping. So just FYI, I didn't do anything right there. Okay,
way to go.
David, let me just digress from that for a little bit here.
Yeah, sure.
You just said you made your whole day and you're going to be on cruise control. That's fine, but the show must go on. So let me ask you, if we end up breaking the high that we set yesterday in the SPY, do you think that that's another setup for gold? Peter just talked about this being inversely related. At least that correlation looks to be intact here today. Do you think we have another potential move down in gold that's tradable if we break yesterday's intraday high? And I'm looking at the SPY. You might be looking at the ES. I'm looking at the SPY. Let's call it 670.5.
Let's look at the SPYs. Yeah, I mean, if we certainly get this stuff settled that's going on with China and all that stuff, I don't see any reason this market does not make new all-time highs. Bottom line, I don't see any reason why we don't.
I mean, we made new all-time highs without the deal happening.
Correct. Yeah. And listen, we needed a little bit of a pull. Markets don't, well, Peter said, I don't know exactly what it was, 32 all-time highs this year, 32 all-time highs for the year. Peter needs to take a breath. He certainly does. Yeah, so we needed a little breath, and I think we pulled back 2%. Let's see, we went from 673 to 650. Let's go 23 points. Almost that's 4%. We had like a 4% pullback from our all-time highs. I don't see any reason, and like I said, again, I think gold is an accident waiting to happen up here as far as getting some kind of meaningful pullback. But that hasn't happened in a long time. We had this one, let's go to the daily, okay? We had this one pullback during the day. We went down like 70 or 80 points from high to low. I at least think another one of those is coming. And like you said, the catalyst could be if we get things settled over there with China.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting that here today. I'm thinking more in the near term, maybe just on a technical move. SPY to me looks like we're trading up here in the pre-market. Looks like we might want to attack the 670 and change high from yesterday. I know we've got some more levels above that, but I just feel like if we go to 670 and we break it to the upside here, 673 is probably next on deck. And if we continue the inverse relationship that we're seeing between gold and the regular market, it seems to me that gold's got another possible leg down here today. Now, you want to sell me that leg down is viable for another trade? Sure, I'm happy to listen to that, but I'm just trying to think, where's the next trade setup that we can take advantage of here?
Yeah, well, here's something that we can do, and we have been doing, and it's very cheap, and you have to have some size to make a couple of bucks, and you can do options in it. DUST. DUST is the ETF that goes the opposite way of gold, and there's a few other ones. I like this one because it's nice and cheap. And look at a daily chart, weekly chart, any chart you want to look at. Look at this. This is a weekly chart. This was in December, $67. It's now trading at $9, DUST. So this is something that I'm always in and out of trading. It was up at 12 last week. Now it's trading at $9. This is something I will put in. I have a little bit in my portfolio that I add to, anticipating having that big pullback in gold at some point. And it's a cheap way to do it. And you can buy options in it. So that's the way I hedge, get short gold.
Okay, I guess now I'm thinking here, I'm reading the chat. Ryan, you kind of have this. I guess maybe one of the other catalysts we could look for is an official end of the shutdown. Maybe that will mean less uncertainty. And then maybe investors will maybe sell some of their gold and look for more highly speculative assets. I'm in agreement with you. The chart to me looks like at some point this is going to stop. I don't want to be the last one caught without a chair in this game of musical chairs. So I'm I'm with you on it. I'm with you on it. I'm really thinking we get a huge pullback here.
I do too.
We'll see. We'll see when we get it. I've been wrong on gold a lot, so we'll see.
It's not that it's again, Ryan. It's been a great trading vehicle, So that's how I'm looking at it, and I own that dust, the ETF that's short in it. So I'm looking at it right now. Well, I'm not done trading for the day, Ryan. I don't want people to think I'm done trading for the day. But when we start off with a good trade in the morning, and I don't like to talk about money here, but it's been a really good morning. We never talk. First rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club, right? Ryan, you've been doing this a long time. One of the things I learned early is you're only as good as your last trade.
That's right.
I don't care if you have 50 good trades in a row, you have one losing trade with your group or whatever it is, and you stink. So
that's how it goes. That's amplified too in today's reactionary world with social media too. So
100%. So I'm just going to be a little more conservative. Whereas I was trading the micro gold futures, maybe I go down the mini gold futures. Maybe I go down to the micro gold futures now and just have a little less size. Orders now we're going to have in gold. Let's see. I like to short up at 42.84. We're trading at 53. I'll be down at 35 for the opening, 42.35, very small. That is the previous day high. So that's down 18 points from here. We'll put that out there. 42.35. We'll pop that up. Let's go back to our ESs. And I know you guys were talking about the quantum stocks. We can take a look at a bunch of those if you want.
Yeah, look,
they're great trading vehicles too, Ryan.
Yeah, so just kind of looking at the schedule here, I definitely want to hear your chart breakdown on Rigetti. You want to talk about some of the other quantum stocks, more power to you. But if you do that, please start with Rigetti. 9 minutes here, I'm going to break down some of the movers. So in that time, maybe let's cover some of these stocks that you're looking at.
Yeah, you guys want to look at Rigetti? We'll look at Rigetti. MP's been one that's been a really good trader. All right, so here's Rigetti. This thing took off from $16. Do I think there's a lot of hype built into all these stocks? Absolutely. But again, that doesn't mean they can't keep running. We've been over an 80 RSI. Got you, Philippe. We'll come up a little bit. We've been over an 80 RSI in this stock for the last, basically, I don't know, month. So as far as trying to pick a top to short this thing, we are about, I don't know, $8 above the moving average right now. Do I think all these things are, I don't want to call it a bubble, but are they all stretched out beyond belief? Yes. Oklo, another stock that had its 3 days. See, this one had its 3 days up yesterday. Okay, got to just tickle an 80 RSI and it pulled back 20 points. So I'm kind of anticipating this in a bunch of these things. QBTS, I think, was another one. Yeah, QBTS, same thing. QBDS had 1 day, 2 day, 3 days up, traded all the way up at 48 and came down $6 yesterday at one point. So I look to see, even intraday trading, one of my favorite setups is to get the 3 days in a row up, significantly stretched above the moving averages and over an 80 RSI. What usually happens in these stocks, and a lot of times we'll see this with earnings. When earnings come out and they're really good, you'll get day one, everyone's jumping in. You'll get day two, I missed the boat. And then you'll get day three where everybody throws out the baby with the bathwater, and they are all wrong for the most part. Not saying it can't go back and make new highs, but this is a technical pattern that I look for. So QBTS absolutely set it up. Let's see where we are in RGTI now.
Now, really quickly, I just want to add some context here to Rigetti. I don't know if you were around for this, but I was covering this earlier. The CEO exercised options to convert into 1 million shares and sold them immediately, all of them, back in May.
Back in May?
May 21st, 2025, sold all million shares. He holds 0 shares.
Well, that was a horrible sale. In May, we were trading at what, $12, $13? I think, Ryan, down there.
Yes, let me sorry. May, I didn't have it queued up here. May 21st. You had a high print on May 21st of 1207.
Yep, there you go. Nice sale. That's having confidence in your company.
That was cold-blooded, Dave. I'm absolutely here for it. Absolutely here for it.
Yeah, Rigetti is not one that I would. Again, it trades good. This thing trades good, and it kind of respects our technicals. Even if we just look here, right? Tested the 200 EMA, tested the 200 EMA, got above the 200 EMA. There's your little breakout on a 5-minute chart. Beautiful. So they are working for day trades. I don't mind looking at them for day trades.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of looking at the intraday chart that you just had pulled up there. I'm looking at it on my own screen here. I'll be honest with you, David. This thing goes to 56.5, or I'll probably nibble a little bit on the inverse ETF RGTZ.
Yeah,
Is that ticker 2x levered?
Yeah.
So here's
cheap,
the thing.
right?
Yeah, I think it's like $9 right now, maybe $9.50. So here's the things. RGTZ, Romeo Golf, RGT, Tango Zulu.
Got it.
Okay, so with Rigetti, my current plan here, 56.50. If we break above that, probably we'll leg into a little bit of that inverse ETF. And then if we go back above 58, probably leg in a little bit more. I'm just thinking, you kind of covered it here. A lot of the folks in the chat here saying quantum has no revenue, this and that, the story we just covered here earlier. I am expecting that if I leg into an inverse short instrument for that to go against me at least right away. It's just that, and that's one of the reasons why I'm going to scale in here and dollar cost average to get that down. I think you could wake up and this could be down 20 points one day.
I am with you 100%.
So,
do they have options yet?
Well, RGTZ does not, but obviously RGTI, the underlying, does.
Let's take a look. They are going to be jacked up, I'm sure, with premiums, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they have weeklies, too. Let's go to next week just to take a quick look. Where are we trading? 55.5?
55.37 right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're not cheap, but if you're going to, this is a way to do it also. You buy puts. At least you know what your downside is going to be, right? So if we get really stretched out up in the 60s or something, you look to buy some 50 puts or something. Cost you a couple $100 per contract. That's another way to, quite frankly, that's the only way I would do it. Or like you said, buying the reverse ETF. What is this RGTC down from? Oh, this is recent, right?
Yeah, this is like day 6 or 7.
Yeah, all right. So down from $20. Yeah, I'm interested in start buying some of that with you, Ryan.
Let's go.
If this thing keeps going, absolutely 100%. So let's do this. RGTI. All right, where are we? The high from yesterday was around 58. All right, so let's put a little marker up at 58 in RGTI, and maybe we'll start, guys in the room, maybe we'll start buying this little cheap $9 stock and start putting it away. I like that. I like it.
Okay. All right, David, let me run through some of the movers.
Absolutely.
Here. Yeah, it shouldn't take me more than 5 or 10 minutes. Then we'll come back. Hopefully, we'll get another update from Peter before the market opens here. I don't see him out there, but we'll check in on that. Let me go ahead and take care of some of these movers. I know the group is waiting for that. We got some fun ones here today, folks. We got some fun ones here today. First one that let me get my screen up there. Sorry about that. First one we're going to start with here, ticker RYOJ. This is Ryoj Baba. Yes, you heard it, Ryoj Baba. So a very, very fun name of a stock to pronounce. Ticker RYOJ. How many times am I going to screw this up today? Anyway, this is trading higher on no news. They're engaged in improving and restoring physical and mental health diminished by work-related stress through consulting and health services. So it's one of those. But no news here today. Now, we did have an impulse move in the after hour and some pretty high volume that took us above, about to 11.5-ish. We've substantially pulled back from that. So the pre-market chart here looks a lot like some of the other pre-market movers that we've seen before. This thing popped initially right when the pre-market opened. It's done nothing but leak the entire pre-market. It's made no attempts to get back over its VWAP. We definitely want to see that if we can have some more bullish upside movement here. I don't know if we're going to get that. We definitely want to wait for volume here. This one, to me, as fun as the name is to pronounce, I'm just not sure this is going to give us a great trade setup. A quick look around the horn on this one, 1.35% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. That comes on an average volume of 471,000 shares. Today, we've traded 13 million shares. The float on this, 2.244 million. So this one can definitely move around. Again, volume here is going to be key. We'll see if we get that. No news catalyst. Be careful with it. Definitely follow some of your technicals. Now, the next one here is going to be ticker SOND, and this is Sonder Holdings. Now, some of you might not know what this is. Some of you might have stayed at a Sonder. I know when I've traveled to Detroit for work, I have often stayed at a Sonder, and they were great. They were great. They were all modern. They had great amenities, very, very clean, conveniently located, and frankly, inexpensive. So I have a good experience with the actual product itself here. But here's what's going on. They reported yesterday that TreviPay partners with Sonder to launch Net Terms program Sonder billing for corporate travelers. I got to think that this is just going to make the billing side of traveling a lot easier. Probably great. Don't know if that should account for a 50% move in the stock. Just saying. Now, yesterday in the after hours, we popped up to 240. We came back. We've made several attempts to try and get back above the VWAP. We made several attempts to try and get above the VWAP here today, and we've been unable to do that. It looks now like we're kind of trading sideways right above the 200 EMA. That would be wonderful if this could maybe come up and support that price. Again, definitely want to wait for volume here. If we get some volume and we get it a little bit later in the day here, or around maybe the lunch hour or the afternoon, maybe the stock is going to be in play here today. But as far as some of the levels here, if it can hold this 134, giddy up. If we can start to get some volume flow, maybe that takes us to 162, just like we've seen with some of the other movers recently here. Very few of them do what DFLI did yesterday, I think I got the ticker right there, where it just keeps going after it gets through the VWAP. So as far as a trading strategy here, if you're adding off of the lows and the stock moves to the VWAP, I think strategically that it makes for a really good place to sell some of that, book some of the gains, give yourself a little bit more leash to hold for some of those bigger moves. And then, of course, you can set a stop to make sure that that trade doesn't go red on you. So that's kind of where I'm at here with Sonder. If we take a look at the daily chart here, you can see it's been kind of rough. We'll see if maybe we can get back up here. 150 seems to be a key spot. Taking a look at the short interest on this name. Wow. Recently, we had a huge tick up here. Now, I think maybe this is going to be because of something that changed here. Nope, we didn't have a split back since 2023. Looks like the float did kind of change here on this, but nonetheless, short interest on the stock as of the last read, 27.99% of the float shorted with 13 days to cover. That comes on an average volume of just over 300,000 shares. Today we've traded 13.5 million. Float on this was 4.2 million. So not sure how long a squeeze would really last if it does in fact materialize here. I think we could probably cover those up pretty quickly given the average volume versus what we're actually seeing here today. But nonetheless, 4.2 million shares in the float. The stock will move. I'd watch for volume on this name as well. Next one here is going to be Mira, and this one has a pretty decent catalyst. And actually, of the three we've covered so far, this has the best looking extended hours chart. Mira Pharmaceutical shares are trading higher after the company announced new preclinical data for Mira 55. Little key fact here. We talked about Telomere recently, ticker TELO. Telomere's CEO is the same CEO as Mira. I actually didn't realize that till I was going through it. So we'll see if these are maybe trade in tandem at all. Telomere had news earlier this week. Looking at the stock here, we do have a double top on this intraday chart, close to $3. I know we didn't quite hit 3 there in either of them, but it's really close. To this morning, we had a nice little move through the VWAP on volume. We leaked back, we lost that VWAP, but we really haven't broken down. In fact, we have not broken down through 2. This is definitely going to be a level I'm watching today. If we can stay above the 65 EMA, maybe make a run at that VWAP, take it out on some volume, that does put $3 in play here. Still looking at about a $2.40 stock. Quick look around the horn on this one, 1.69% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. That comes on an average volume of 1.3 million shares. Today, we've traded 50 million shares before the market even opens. I don't think there's any type of short squeeze effect that we're going to see here. 14.6 million shares in the float. Now, stock's moving here. Let's take a look at its balance sheet. No bueno. At least that doesn't look great here. They got very little cash on hand. They don't have a whole lot of debt, but they still have some. If we take a look at the income statement, they lose money. So straight up here, not a lot of cash on hand. Company loses money. They had a nice big move today. They're still holding higher by 82%. I do think dilution here is possible. Don't know if we're going to get it, but absolutely possible. How am I doing on time? Still all right? All right. Next here is going to be UROY. This is Uranium Royalty. And I do think that we have traded this one before, although I can't place it. This did make a big move in the after hours yesterday. Took us to about 650 and came back in. Today, at least, we're trading sideways. So we're not actually breaking down and giving everything back. We're trading sideways. We'll see if we actually get a trade here. I don't have any news, recent news. The most recent news was from Monday this week, where this ran with some of the other metals and uranium stocks. We'll see if we get maybe more of a move on that here today. Quick look around the horn on this one. I got no reading for its short interest. They have 9.3 million shares held short. That's actually lower than some of the average from earlier this year. 2.6 days to cover. I'm not getting a float reading on this. Let me see if I can get it from Know the Float right now. Oh, did I type in the wrong ticker? Nope, they got it there. So this is ticker UROY. Let's see if I can get you a float reading here. Yeah, I can. 900 million, right? So your float here on UROY, about 100 million. That's per Yahoo Finance, FinViz, Wall Street Journal, and Dilution Tracker. So with that being said, we have about 100 million shares in the float, and we've got about 9 million shares held short. Looks to me we've got about 10% there. So not a whole lot. Don't really think that's going to come into play here today. Good news. This thing seems to be trading sideways along its 65 EMA. Now, the last one that I think I had here on my list, we'll go through some of the other ones. This ELBM, we should all know about that. We traded that already. BZAI, we should know about. HOND, we know about. CRML, we know about. Even NUAI. This has been an amazing whisk call recently. The other one here that we're taking a look at, though, is SAFX. This is XCF Global. Hope you got all those letters there. This thing popped to 2 yesterday in the after hours, retraced 75% of the move, and then continued bleeding here today. Now, yesterday in the after hours, XCF Global strategic partnership with New Rise Australia will hold 12.5 equity interest in New Rise Australia. License term is 15 years, renewable based on performance, and they're going to receive a 12.5% licensing fees from net profit to grant New Rise Australia exclusive license to utilize XCF's knowledge to develop renewable fuel production facilities. So if we go down here, XCF is a pioneering synthetic aviation fuel company dedicated to accelerating the aviation industry. So that's what this company does. Chart doesn't look great here. Actually, it looks like it's kind of rolling over. It is holding the 200 EMA. We've seen several of these junky movers move off of the 200 EMA. So maybe we'll take a look at that. Again, very little short interest here. In fact, less than 1 million shares. To me, really no danger of a short squeeze here. On average, the stock trades 782,000 shares. Today, it's traded 4.45 million. We'll see if this ends up rolling here today. We can come back and check on some more of those movers if you'd like. I know 13 is in the chat. He's probably breaking some of those down. We talked a little bit about Mira. Thank you, 13. Appreciate this. Tello is getting ready to meet with the FDA for Type B meeting regarding pre-IND distribution. Remember, Telomere is not moving here today, but the CEO for Tello is the same here as Mira. Okay. All right, I think that's good for some of the movers now. Do we have Peter back? No, we've got David back, but we have Peter back. Let me take one more question here. Anything to keep BZI going? Is there no support for this? Sorry, I don't know what you're asking, thinking about it. Did I click on that? Maybe I accidentally clicked on that. Let me just check BZAI real quick just to make sure I'm not missing anything. It's had a really good day for those of you that traded yesterday. Looks like we're trying to tease some continuation here today. Unsure if we'll get that. I don't think there was any news on this. Let me just check for you real quick. Not the time for the news feed to not be loading. I'll just say that. Okay. No new news here on BZAI. It looks like the last one here was from Tuesday, October 7th, when it got a new rating from Roth. But that's it. 7.6% of the float shorted on this name with 1.2 days to cover. Pretty paltry volume here today. We'll probably get to the average 60.5 million share float. Don't know if this really moves here anywhere today. Izzy saying WWK has big news. That wasn't on my list, but let me take a look at it. WWK, I don't even have a ticker for that. Do you mean WWR? Izzy? WHWK is the ticker. It sounds like White Hawk Therapeutics. This has got to be what you're referencing. White Hawk Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company announced a multi-year collaboration with Tempus AI to leverage Tempus's proprietary real-world data set to advance biomarker-driven research and support for development of White Hawk Therapeutics' oncology pipeline. Okay, I'll be honest, that PR does read pretty good. I just did a webinar with Tim Melvin last night. He said AI medical stocks are hot right now. This definitely seems to fit in that theme, albeit maybe one of the junkier ones. Looks like we had an impulse move up to 450, a pullback and lost the VWAP. We'll see if we can recapture that one here pretty quick. Let me look at the daily chart and see if look at that. Popped right up to a previous resistance area. Looks like the top there was around 380, and it looks like we have a gap that fills at about 480. So there are some immediate spots right off the daily. Let's just call it 380 to make it easy, and I got a gap fill. Boy, I have to turn off some of these moving averages, but I got a gap fill up here just shy of 5. So those are going to be some of our key areas on this one. We'll see if this moves. This actually is a pretty good piece of news. Here we go. Thank you, 13. WHWK is gap filling. Check the daily. We did that. That gap is back through December 2023. And here, Fatty Liver King. AI in medicine is huge. Most stocks on my rotation are using open evidence for guidelines and research. Fatty Liver, any insight that you have into the AI applications in the medical industry, we are definitely interested in that. I understand they're going to be anecdotal. If you have anything else to support that, that's fantastic. But this is actually a theme that we have been talking about recently, and we've increasingly been talking about that. So really appreciate that. Okay, that's all I had here for the movers for right now. We can check back in on some of these a little bit later. David, I can go back to your chart. Do you have anything else going on at the moment? New setups, anything like that? David is muted or can't hear me. Okay. Well, that was not good. There we go. There we go.
I got you. I was just looking at the biotech index, which is LabU and LabD. And we had a nice little one-day breakout. Now we're on day 2 of this breakout in LabU. So this is the biotech index. Spiked up from 105, 117 yesterday. And now we are at 121. So I'm going to, and again, we don't give financial advice to anybody, but I'm going to start buying a little bit of this LabD. Again, this is the ETF, the short one. We'll go to a daily chart in this. Yeah, we spiked down. Actually, I'm going to wait one more day. We just spiked down from 36 to 31. So actually 30. Tomorrow, that's going to be something I'm looking at to get into for a little longer term. Can I ask a question of the audience?
Yeah.
All right, guys and girls. I'm just curious, how many people that are in this room right now are either live trading futures or would like to be trading futures? Give me some ones, please. I want to get a little sense of what the audience here is really interested in doing. Because we are 90% at Wall Street Global Trading Academy, trading futures. So I just want to get a sense from the audience, how many of you are actually doing it? How many would like to be doing it? I want to get a sense as to how many people that are here are actually interested in talking about futures and learning futures. Futures is not my cup of tea. Someday soon. Okay. The thing with futures, guys and girls, is that you can open up an account with Apex for as little as like $37. So one of the reasons we like to get everybody involved in futures is because of the low barrier to entry. Right? You don't need capital to do it. That's the best thing about it. You can open up an account with Apex with $37. Okay? There's some steps that you have to go through. I cannot predict the futures. It's not, guys, futures is the same thing as trading stocks. It's not any different than that. And the best thing about it is you can start with a very, very, very small amount of money. Okay? You can open up an account with Apex for as little as like sometimes $18 and $37. And I just wanted to announce to everybody, because we've been talking about this for weeks. All right. Our new website has just been launched, and we curated a 7-hour futures course. Okay. I trade slow markets with Dakota every night. We do slow markets every Tuesday and Thursday. So we're trading futures every Tuesday night and Thursday night. So if you guys can just pop up WSGTA.com. We have a brand new website, and we put together a 7 hours futures course, okay, that has lifetime mentorship with it. And we're offering it at an incredible price. I think it's $299. And you can even do a payment plan with that. So we're trying to make this as affordable as possible for everybody. Check it out at WSGTA.com. We're going to give away some, Ryan, remind me, I got accounts to give away today.
Okay.
We're going to give away some free Apex accounts, but go to the website at WSGTA.com. And we just launched it this morning, okay? And it comes with lifetime mentorship. Also, I'm always going to tell you guys, David Prince got the name in here several times. What was it, 10? Oh, you're talking about giving away accounts. I'm also, as I always do, guys, before we leave here, I'll give you my my private email. You send me an email, and everybody can come hang out and trade with us next week. So if you're not sure about it, you can spend a week with us trading live and trading futures, and you'll get a little sense of what we do. So WSGA.com, check it out, our site. All right, let's go over what we got going on now. Now, Ryan, there is no stopping gold. We had that one little pullback down to our VWAP, and we're spiking right back up again. So we're going to go over gold. Futures are very boring. I disagree with you 1,000,000,000%, Lion. 1,000,000,000%. I think futures are more exciting than trading stocks. The volatility is there every single day. And like I said, the barrier to entry is extremely low. But to each his own, guys and girls. That's all. We have some unbelievable success stories from people who are trading futures. And
I was going to say, this is a family show, David.
What's that?
I was going to say, I'm glad you corrected yourself there because this is a family show.
Boogat says, I love trading futures. It's way more exciting. Yeah, I mean, it's fast. It's great. Technicals work. Whatever. All right. I'm not going to. Are there any activation fees? Yeah, Keen, come into the room. I'll explain all that stuff to you. Obviously, the course is 7 hours. It's got psychology. It's got everything. It's the best thing we've ever done. And we tried to make it as affordable as possible for everybody. Option is where, hey, to each his own, guys and girls. I still trade stocks. I was a stock trader for 40 years, guys and girls. Okay, futures is fairly new to me, probably within the last 2 years, and I love it now. I absolutely love it. All right, a couple of things. Let's get our 5-minute orb up. So we're ready for the opening. Our orb, guys, is the opening range breakout. Okay, it is a study that we have built into our charts. So we're going to start at 9:30. We go to a 5-minute. And at 9:30, you're going to see a little box start to form. Okay. And that will be our 5-minute opening range breakout. After about 8 minutes, we'll switch to the 15-minute. But sometimes we got a lot of trades off that 5-minute opening range breakout. If something's breaking up, we want to be long. And if something breaks down, we want to be short. I need a free account. We'll do the best we can, guys and girls. We do the best we can. Let's go over our orders. Gold, we are down at 42.41. That is our 200 EMA. That would be a spike down of 20 points on the opening. Let's make that a couple of contracts. And we have our short up at 42.84. That is our pivot point. MESs, the ESs, the S&P 500 futures. Yeah, we're starting to pick up a little speed again, Ryan. Your spies might try to break out here a little bit.
We talked about it early.
Yeah, I have no interest in anything in the ESs right now. We're kind of just sitting here. We got our bid down on a 200 EMA. Let's raise that up to 26.50. That is our 200 EMA. We have a ton of Fed speak today, by the way, guys and girls. In addition to maybe Mr. Trumpsky, coming out at any point, but let's just take a look. And this is something that everybody should always look at first thing in the AM, right? We use tradingeconomics.com. That is a website that we go to.
You can also use Market Watch. There are a bunch of them.
You guys can also use Benzinga. Come on now.
Oh, Jesus Christ, guys.
Don't use anything.
Don't use Benzinga. Forget about all that other business. Go to Benzinga.
Ryan, tell us where we could find the economic news on Benzinga.
Okay, perfect. So we actually make it really easy for you here. There are a couple of things that you can do. Number one, let me actually go ahead and share my screen. We actually have a morning report that automatically populates for you. This will outline all of the economic data that's due that day. It will give you a time, and it will show you more than just the U.S. economic data as well. This is weighted generally in terms of importance, in terms of like, for example, if we have a Fed speaker, if Mirren is speaking, and we also have a CPI print, the CPI print will be weighted a lot higher than a Fed head speaking. But this is kind of a curated list. The other thing that you can do, if you really wanted to get the complete list, we actually have an economics calendar built into Pro that will give you all of the economic events. This will also allow you to filter them by Fed, not Fed, country filters, importance. You can actually sort them by how important that particular data print is to the market. And you can also kind of look at it on a range. So if you want to know what are the big Fed economic events for this week, you can filter it that way. So a number of different things here. And of course, on our show, when we open up, I lead with all of the Fed speakers that we're due to get. So we talked about Barkin, Barr, Waller, Mirren, Bowman. Today, some of them speak twice, David.
Yes.
So
all day. I don't think any of it is as important as we kind of dialed into what's going to happen as far as interest rates are concerned, unless something economically really changed from there. Let's put it this way. We've had a ton of Fed talk, and we haven't seen much reaction to that.
Correct. Exactly right.
Is Pete here or he's gone?
He dropped for a sec, but he's back now. Let me get him on here. Pete, welcome back.
I'm back. Let's also be clear to everyone that sometimes our focus is all about that number, right? We've got days we'll come in on a Thursday or a Friday. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sometimes we'll come in on a Thursday or a Friday, and that economic data is all we're looking at in the morning, right? CPI, PPI, CPE, consumer spending, consumer spend. What is it? Personal consumer expenditure. These are the things. Some of them target inflation. Some of them target the health of the consumer. Some of them are about jobless claims. I mean, this is all stuff that's really important to the market, and it's moving the market. It has not been the biggest market mover lately because we're flying blind with the government shutdown. We're not getting a lot of that information, but for the most part, historically over the last 6 months, it's been a big market mover, but that's not what we're looking right now. We're looking at earnings. That's a big factor. We're looking at guidance. Another big factor, and as I think I got cut off and lost you before, is the fact that we're in the midst of this narrative with China. And when you talk about China and you have this narrative between two massive egos, two massive global leaders, our largest trading partner and our most contentious trading partner, it's going to be what's going to throw this market off. If anyone has seen any kind of a spike or a sell-off over the last 4 days, after the Friday, the initial argument between Z about rare earth minerals, that's been all about Mr. Trump and Mr. Z talking back and forth. We had a thing about soybeans and cooking oil. We had a thing about rare earth minerals. That's what's going to do it. We're one tweet away from crazy town. But David will always talk. When we talk Wall Street Global Trading Academy, we talk about having a stop order on every trade. That protects your downside risk. If you're in a stock, I was talking to a young kid yesterday who was in a trade, right? And then that tweet came out about the soybeans, and the thing, it went down 50 handles on the MES, right? And if he didn't have a stop, he ended up losing $4. If he hadn't have had his stop, he would have lost $20,000. So what we're trying to do is identify your downside risk. That's what risk management is all about. That's how successful traders differentiate themselves from people who lose money. You can be winning $100, $100, $100 you can be batting 75% and still not be profitable. So these are the things that make a big difference. Journaling your trades. Okay, listen, we just launched the best futures course. It is deeply Apex centric. And last night, Wall Street Global Trading Academy, WA.com, a 9-hour futures course with all over it talking. It is amazing. Technical analysis, risk management, money management, the best significant technical analysis trades that you can. We teach people about stop orders. We teach people to make money, how to stop trading when you're making money, stop trading when you're losing money. This is the discipline and consistency that David Green is master of. We had our own equities course for many, many years. We pivoted to the futures. We partnered with Apex. And now this course, we worked on it for a couple of months. It is a 9-hour super intensive course. It's for beginners. It's for people who don't know a stock from a stock. You can join our course. It's $299, money back guarantee, payment plan as little as $30-40 a month. Okay. It comes with coaching and mentoring for life. If you want someone to hold your hand, help you set up your charts, we have a VIP concierge service in our academy that will help set up your charts. So if you're brand new and you don't know anything about this thing, we can take care of you. If you're in there, okay, if you've been trading the market and you need that extra lift, coaching and mentoring by me and David Green, and wonderful. Every Mondays and Fridays, David Green and I train the opening bell on our YouTube channel. Thursday, Benzinga live stream. Nothing better. Partnering with Apex, that gives you accessibility and funding. So if you join our course and you learn how to trade, and then you get accessibility and funding from Apex, it's a trade. It's a partnership made in heaven. That's all I can say. And then join Benzinga on Thursday. Learn how to trade the opening bell. That's all I got to say.
Opening bell is coming.
Peter, I got one more thing. Before your connection dropped earlier, you were talking about some $20 million bet on Friday. Several of the folks here, they'd like you to finish that thought, because nobody took you off. Just to be clear, your connection dropped. But can you finish your thought here on this?
100%. So somebody put on a massive Bitcoin trade.
42 in gold.
Somebody put on, big whale put on a massive Bitcoin trade that caused a whole margin call within the Bitcoin community. And it was a bearish bet on the market. And that happened early Friday morning. And as we know, Friday morning market was down 2.5 points. Okay. And that's what you saw cause that massive sell-off in Bitcoin over the weekend as people got called into a margin call. That bet was whoever that whale is, got out of that trade, made, a lot of money. And on Tuesday, he put the trade on again. So there is a looming bearish trade, a put trade in the marketplace being done by whatever the derivative is around Bitcoin and puts on this market. So there's a huge bet out there. I don't know who the whale is. I don't understand the derivative part of this trade, but there is, once again, look, obviously he made a great trade on Friday. He had whatever eyes he had and clarity on the market. It was amazing. And he put the trade on once again on Tuesday. So just think, there is a looming bearish trade in the marketplace. We always know that. There's always somebody who thinks market's going higher, somebody who the market's going lower. But there is a school of people who believe we've hit up against some levels of resistance in the market and we're due for a bit of a sell-off. And this guy's obviously has got his ear to the grindstone. So that's the trade I was talking about.
Okay, great. I appreciate that. Jet fuel, I think fatty liver, you were also asking about this. Let me know if that does answer your question. Peter, thank you for doing that again.
If anyone reaches out to me, I'm happy to do some more investigation because my son actually knows more about the trade.
Okay.
All right, I'll meet you on the inside, guys.
All right, sounds good. On his way into the exchange. Really good stuff there. Okay, David, we got a couple of minutes before we open here. You got anything else lined up?
This morning, we just spiked up to a new all-time high at 42.69. Spot we're looking at down here for the opening is down on our 200 EMA at 42.42. 53 is our first. Actually, guys and girls, let's come up to 53 small for the opening. That's our 65 EMA, and it'll be straight down 16 points. But we'll take it easy. We'll do it slow. 42.53 will be our first spot if we spike down another 10 points very quickly on the opening. And let's take it nice and slow in the morning, guys. We'll do the micros, let things set up a little bit. Let's go check our ESs, see what we're doing there. If there's anything to do in those futures, we can check the Dow. We can check a whole bunch of futures. All right, let's put that up there. S&P 500, taking a little dipsky doodle here, guys and girls. All right, so we're just dipping down from 67.39. We have a bid out at 62.2650. That is our 200 EMA for the opening. So we'll take it easy and see if we can get a spike down there. That's it. That's what we're looking at early in the morning. We're looking at gold. We're looking at the futures on the opening.
Okay. Real quick, one of our movers from yesterday, folks, Jay Rice, appreciate you having an offering here this morning. So hopefully, for those of you that traded this yesterday, hopefully you made your money on it, because today, here we go, way beneath the lows, offering out. This actually looks like this might roll over and retest 6 to the downside. We'll see if we get that. Good mention there, though, Jay.
Okay, we have a little a Fibonacci below our 200 EMA in the ESs, so we're going to be conservative on the opening. We're going to go down to 67.22.75. Go down a little bit. Sometimes even when I have a big moving average, I'm going to be a little more conservative on the opening because this is when we can get the most volatility. So what you guys are looking at up top here is my Interactive Brokers account. So in my Interactive Brokers account, I trade the micros, okay? Because I don't recommend anybody that trade futures in a real brokerage account. There's a couple of reasons for it. If I'm trading the ESs to do one contract in Interactive Brokers, I need to have, let's see where we are, $24,400 worth of buying power. There is no margin when you're trading futures. So that's why it's so expensive to trade these in your regular retail account. That's why we recommend everybody doing it with Apex and futures. So let's see what we got. Let's keep our eyes on gold. Looking very, very bad.
We are open. Let's get it done.
So you're going to see our little 5-minute orb start to form here. And that'll show us after 5 minutes the top and the bottom of that 5-minute opening range breakout. And we'll see if that gives us anything. Let's check our little Rigetti, see what that bad boy's doing. My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. And if you see any of your stocks, Brian, that you want to pop up there while we're waiting for something to happen there.
Yeah, nothing yet. I think the big one here is going to be this RYOJ. It's just kind of a low floater, but it's really not moving yet. This thing has really come back into the 200. I don't really see anything setting up yet. Prax, this is higher here. This ticker PRAX. Praxis Precision Medicine shares are trading higher if the company released top-line data from 2 pivotal phase 3 trials. That's already made its move here. We'll see if we get another set. I don't see any setup yet. I'll holler when I got one, though.
Yeah, and we got the Fed speak starting. It's going to be going on all day. Gold's pulling back a little bit. Like to see it pull back another, 8-9 points, hit our 30 EMA. We're looking to get long a little gold on that pullback if we get it. Stick to your day job. Singing will not make you wealthy. Come hang out in our trading room. People have to listen to me sing all day, unfortunately, especially when it's slow. Oil. Got something going on in oil? Nah. Spike down, spike up. Maybe if you get a breakout above the 5-minute orb for a little momentum to the upside. Maybe. Let's check out the Dow. What are we doing in the Dow? Dow futures, Bitcoin futures. Bitcoin futures are doing nothing. Dow futures kind of hanging out. So kind of a subdued opening. Kind of sitting in the middle of everything. Not much going on. One thing, guys and girls, that we will never do, and nobody should do this, is trade just to trade, right? Wait for your setups. If there's nothing going on, you don't trade, period.
Absolutely. In fact, real quickly here, one of those movers that you might have been looking at was RYOJ here. Nasty, just moved right away from that 200 to the downside here. So again, I didn't see any great setups here. If you were boredom trading, yikes, that could have been bad. I could not agree with you more there, David.
RYOJ, wow, that's down from $9 back down to $4.
That's just a kind of a low floater there with a funny name. That's about
it. SOUN. Nice breakout. See if we can get above this 5-minute orb at 22.17 now. That would be a nice move to the upside if we can get up there. How's that look on a daily? I know isn't this the one you've been on since 90 cents?
Which one? Sound? No.
SOUN. That was
no.
Not that one.
That's been a great mover here, but no, that's not my big small cap winner.
Yeah, this is looking to break out on a daily chart. Up, bull flag, looking to break out a little bit maybe. MESs, we're going to move up to 23. That's fine. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is nothing.
You got that right. You got that right.
I already have it out at 23 in the ESs.
Ooh, SLI, this is one of our lithium plays. This is moving here. So this did break above the pre-market high there. Didn't see a great setup on it though. So not trading this here, but SLI from the lithium theme that we've kind of been trading here or looking at recently, this popping right out of the gate. That's all I got here so far.
Nice breakout.
Yep.
Oklo coming down. Wow, look at Oklo, guys. Just spiked down $6. All right, so Oklo doesn't quite have an 80 RSI. Right, so I'm not going to look for a far from moving average trade yet. Let's throw out 164 in Oklo just in case I want to spike down to the previous day low. Kind of like that. Let's check the spread in Oklo. Spread's like $1, so let's just get a marker down there at 164, and we'll jump in with some bigger size if we get that smack down there. Be down another $5 from here. SGM. Oh, you're saying good morning, Scotty. ES is spiking up, spiking down, sitting in the middle of everything. We still got our 23 there. Gold is not giving us any kind of pullback at all whatsoever. All right, let's switch to our 15-minute orb. And the 15-minute orb, guys and girls, we are going to leave up for the entire day. So we'll go 9:30, 15 minutes.
Really quickly here while David's setting that up. Archer here. We talked about this yesterday. Archer actually had a pretty good day yesterday. It's trying to continue here today. We did pop above this, 1362 level that we have marked off here. Archer's intraday high yesterday, about 1450, really pulled when it hit that level yesterday. We'll see if we get back there, but keep this in mind from yesterday. Again, another one of the stocks that we often take a look at here, ticker ACHR. This is moving out of the open on some decent volume here today. Izzy, I swung Archer. Did you sell into that pop, Izzy, or are you looking for a 1450 test and maybe a break higher? Let me know. Let me know what the plan is going forward there if you were swinging that overnight into today. Thanks for the Rigetti short play. How did that end up doing? How's Rigetti Spaghetti doing here? I know we've been talking about RGTZ is probably the safer way to play that here. Here's what your Rigetti chart looks like. Boy, we did not get that pop that I was thinking we might get here this morning. Lower we go here.
We were hoping. We're down to 53.33. I mean, it's down $2. I mean, I got nothing here until our previous day low around 50.50. That's about it.
Out 14-14. Good job there. Oops, that's the wrong one. Good job there on Archer Izzy. Nice little early trade there. Good morning, Mike. It's great to see you again. Good morning, Crow.
Big Dog Steve in the house. Hey, while we got a little break in the action here, because I don't see anything in anywhere that we want to do. We want to, Ryan, you want to start by giving away 5 accounts to some people?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Let's do it. You pick the names, my friend. The only thing is, guys, okay? So, Ryan, you got to get someone to post this.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't do everything here. So, producer, can you please get the emails ready to help me out?
This is wsgta.com@gmail.com. So, anyone who wins is going to have to send an email to wsgta.com@gmail.com. Okay? That's the email.
Thank you, producer.
Thank you so much. There you go. Okay. Let's do 5 now, and we'll do 5 when we're ready to get out of here.
Okay.
Or you, Ryan.
So, okay, sounds good. So we're going to do, looks like we've already got some numbers here in the chat. Let's just go ahead and do this. Let me get some ones in the chat. We'll go ahead and select them. There we go. Now I'm getting a whole bunch here. Now I can scroll the list back and forth. See what we got here. I'm just going to click on one. There's one. Eat, Trade, Travel. Kind of like this name here. Eat, Trade, Travel. You are our first winner of the account. Go ahead and send that email. Ryan, and producer, if you could throw that up there again.
I like going for the weird names.
I'm not selecting them. I'm kind of shuffling the list and then just clicking on one of them, and whoever it is, it is. If I select someone twice, no, you don't win 2. Come on, got to let everyone else get some here. Come on. Let me go ahead and click on another one here. Okay, 3D. All right, 3D. One of our winners here. Go ahead and email WSGTA. Producer, just put it up so I don't have to remember it.
WSGTA.com@gmail.com.
There we go. There we go. Okay, that's 2 down. Let me do another one here real quick. All right, Matthew Gritter. Matthew Gritter, you are a winner. There you go, producer. You can put that email back up there. Perfect. I'll go ahead and shuffle the list again. That's 3 here that we've got now. We've got some more ones in the chat. That's awesome. Let me keep shuffling.
You, Joey.
What's that?
No, I'm just talking to my room. Go ahead.
All right. Next here, Von Rivera. Von, did you win last time?
Ooh, be honest.
Be honest. I say, I'll tell you what, it's his name's so close to Ron Rivera that every time I see it, I think about that. So maybe this is a me thing, not a him thing. Sorry if that's the case. Von, if you haven't won, guess what? You're a winner today. That's 4, right? So we got one more here. One more here. Shuffling it up, shuffling it up, shuffling it up. All right. Michelle Cowden. All right. I actually think Michelle was asking to win earlier. Speak it into existence, Michelle. Speak it into existence. You are a winner. There's 5. We'll do 5 more right before you jet. We got 20 more minutes, so we'll probably do that in 15 here. Oops. Clicked on that again. Sorry about that. All right. Let me recenter my chat here. Okay. Okie dokie.
Wow, it's crazy. I've not gotten a trade yet today since the.
Yeah, I was going to say, after doing all of that, let me see if anything has set up here.
Gold spiking up again, just made a new all-time high, pulling back a little bit. I am looking to get long gold on a pullback to that 57.50 level if we can get back there. Crazy, man. Every single day, gold's up $50.
NAC continuing to trade higher here. NAC, nice little pop out of the gate. 290 was your intraday high from yesterday. NAK.
We still like the ESs, guys, at 23. We're coming in pretty hard in there. Futures here, guys and girls. All right, 23 on this pop down in the ESs, guys. So the spiders are coming in a bit here. I think that's why gold is going up again, too.
Our movers don't look great here. Sonder, this is lower. Ryoj Baba, or ticker RYOJ. This has been a real big disappointment. This thing is really kind of just sold off out of the open. AUUD, this is another one that we've traded a bunch here before. Was this moving? Nope. Another disappointing move here. AUUD. SLI, this is that lithium play that we talked about earlier. This continues to rip. So SLI, let me see if I can find you the next spot here on SLI.
SLI, I'll put it up too if you want.
Yeah. So we are above. So I only have chart history going back to, oh, there we go. It just took a sec to load. Okay. Next spot here, probably 6 3/4, 675 might be your next spot here. SLI. We're actually coming back up to this previous formation back from 2022 where the stock really did put it head and shoulders on the daily. It's in a consolidation area right now. So this might trade a little thick here, but honestly, this 675 area, 6 3/4, that might be your next area of resistance. Above that, I'm thinking 9, maybe 8, and then 9. That's SLI.
Beautiful. Beautiful looking chart, by the way, on a daily, on every chart. That thing just broke out. It's off to the races.
Yep.
I called out AQMS for you guys at 16.
I think that was Marcus from yesterday, wasn't it, Marcus? This thing traded down to 12 yesterday. I know it was 16 here in the pre-market. Maybe that call is from this morning. Sorry if I missed that, Marcus. I think you were looking at this one yesterday as well.
Boy, guys, gold is just off to the races. Cannot get a pullback. All right, well, we start. Okay.
Sorry, real quick. Mira, this is trading up to its VWAP. We talked about this one. We talked about some of these coming back up to the VWAP here. I do expect it to find some resistance here at 246, but if it pops above, I'm thinking 266 next, and then probably that double top near 3.
Gold is trying to break out of the 15-minute orb. Really no resistance up to 84 now. Make sure I have the 15-minute orb. 9:30, 15-minute, yeah.
Okay, Rigetti bouncing a little bit. I know that pulled out of the open. So for you RGTZ traders, got an opportunity to maybe sell some if you were swinging that over there. RGTI, Rigetti bouncing a little bit here, trying to retake 54. RGTZ back down to 950-ish. And I know we've been talking about NAC a lot here. 13 reminding you, NAC really just needs that EPA veto to be lifted. That's the big hurdle right now. Whether or not the Trump admin helps them with that remains to be seen. Good stuff, 13. Good stuff.
Oklahoma pulled back this morning, right? A little bit. Probably bounced also. Is that what we're saying? Okay. Yeah, had a little bounce off the lows, 168. So all these quantum stocks are bouncing a little bit off their lows this morning.
Yep.
And the futures are doing absolutely nothing. ES has just popped up a bunch. We got our short in ES at 67.42. If we spike back up there, it's good. Kind of just flopping around in nowhere's land in a lot of stuff right now.
Pack B, this one continuing to rise, 13. This is actually a nice day yesterday. Looks like some more continuation here today. I think 13 took this one on a swing. I don't see anything else great here, to be quite honest. Plug popped out of the open right up to 420 and stopped there. Amazon did pop here. Gave you a little bit of a dip down there to 515.25 and popped. Currently looking at about a 215.25. Looks like it's trying to take 218 right now.
We just got a big breakout in the ES is above the 15-minute orb. That was about 67.37. Guys, just paid 4 points. So this is what I'm talking about, Ryan, when we're looking at that 15-minute orb. When we break the top of the orb, it's usually a good signal to grab a little bit for a trade. And we got above it at about 38, and we spiked up to 42. So good trade if you got the breakout of that orb.
PayPal, this is another stock that we talked about yesterday on Happy Hour. Thinking about a long swing here on PayPal. This $68 level looks to be the top end of the support area. It pretty much goes down to 65, so 65 to 68. We're basically sitting right there. If you have some longer-term moving averages on your chart, you'll know that this thing is beneath its 200, might pop above that.
We're short at 42, guys, so let's just have a tight stop in this. Try to get one back, break even if we spec back down. All right. Go ahead, bro.
I'm done.
So I don't know if we had news, something just broke out. Cover the balance down here, guys. From 42. Boom. Beautiful. Nice job, guys. Good trade. Okay,
Diamond asking, is RGTZ harder to trade? No, because you look at the underlying, right? So when these ETFs, I don't necessarily look at what the ETF has done in terms of price history, especially since it's levered. I'm going to look at the underlying. Is it harder to trade? Not really. It actually feels like Rigetti might roll over. The underlying might roll over here. As a result, no, RGTZ is where we would want to be for that.
Okay, guys. So what we get 2, 3, 4 points off our short in the ESs. So we had a Fibonacci level up at 67.42. Went 2 points against, which is nothing. We give it a 4-point stop, and it just paid between 5 and 6 points on the pullback. So here's the thing, okay, for you people who aren't really trading futures yet. If you did 2 ES contracts here at 42, okay, and you covered them at 40, you made $400 on that trade. So it doesn't take a lot of contracts to make good money when you're trading these futures. And if you take, $200 to $400 out every day, that's when it starts to add up, and that's when you can start taking money from the prop firms. And look, we just went down 10 points from there. You know what? We took our 2 to 5 points. Jake, you're in it? Beautiful, Jake. Well, get out now. You just made 10 points on that trade. So if you had one contract and you made 10 points, that's $500. If you had 2 contracts and you made 2 points, that is a $1,000 trade, and it took 1 minute. And we did it because it was based on a technical analysis of Fibonacci that we had on our charts. A good start to the morning between our early gold trade and our ES trade. I don't know what that spike was about. No idea.
Fed talk. It's just a bunch of Fed talk. I don't know if the market was responding to that. It's already retracing that move.
There you go. I think David's trading group moves too. Now, learn. You would be able to keep up. It just takes a little bit. Okay. You would be able to keep up. We post every single trade live in real time before we get into the trades. We explain why we are doing the trades, stop orders and profit targets. We will never post a trade after we get in it. I don't allow anybody to do that. I would kick them out of the room. There is no after the fact trading. I can't stand that. That's my biggest pet peeve. You know, Ryan, when someone says, "Oh, I bought this stock at 6 and it's trading at 12," what good does that do anybody?
It doesn't do any good.
Any good. So
that's one of the other things that we do around here too, right? And some days there's a lot of stuff going on and people are seeing tickers move around and they'll shout out a ticker and a setup. That also does no good. What is it that you're actually looking for? What do you see?
Exactly.
Use your words.
Exactly, 100%. We're mostly trading gold and the S&P 500 futures. But this is not, I don't want to say it's easy because trading is not easy in any way, shape, or form. But it's just something that you have to learn, that's all. And it takes some time, okay? We will, again, our new course launch at WSGTA. We'll pop my email in. Start today. Send me an email. You can come hang out with us for the next 5 days and trade with us. And we'll show you exactly what we do and how we do it, okay? It takes time like anything else, but it's not unachievable in any way, shape, or form. Wow, I don't know what the heck that move was about. Guys, I want to be hands off for a couple of minutes now. I don't trust any moves in the spies. I think there's could be some news coming out. I think the Fed talk is moving things, so we're going to be on our hands for a few minutes. I don't think our technicals are going to mean anything in the next little bit, so let's just take a chill pill.
RGTZ continuing its next leg up here. You're right, 13. Looks like that might cross 10 here. RGTZ looking pretty good. Might have sold it a little too early yesterday.
Nice.
Should have added in the after hours when we had 870 prints.
Wow, that is beautiful. Nice breaking out. So what is the RGTI doing? Great call by you.
Another leg lower.
There you go. Boom. I mean, you called that this morning below 9.
Yes, sir.
It was right around $9.
Yeah, we were actually looking at that yesterday in the after hours too. We had a closing print around 870.
Wow.
And we were kind of debating maybe adding a little bit back in the after hours. Opted not to. Should have, though. Nice little move there, though. And a nice pullback towards the VWAP that gave you a reload opportunity.
I think the RGTI got room to like $50.50. So I think you still got a little room in this RGTX.
Kathy, real good mention here. We've been watching this quite a bit here. Kathy saying Rigetti usually bounces late morning, early afternoon. Kathy, really good stuff here. Definitely open to looking at some of those patterns there.
All right, let's do this, Ryan. We got 9 minutes. Let's give away the last 5 courses.
Let's do it.
Some ones.
Let's do it. All right. Reflood the chat with ones. Let's go ahead and give some more accounts away.
Let's get them ones rolled. Gold is spiking up again. Jeez Louise.
There we go. Now we're starting to get some ones here. All right. Producer, you got the email already? I absolutely love it. All right, let's go.
I'm going to go ahead. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice job.
I'm going to shift this around a little bit. We're going to click on one. All right. Who did I get there? Cam, I can't even do it. You didn't even type 1. You just typed in WON. Can I get a ruling on this, David? What's the ruling on this? No, I'm putting you under the pressure now. What's the ruling on this? Is this a winner?
I like the WON, yes.
You like the WN. All right, Cam. There you go. Thank David, because I would have been a little bit more harsh than that. Go ahead and email. That's one down. Couple more to go. Let me reshuffle this here real quick. Oh, my God. I can't do anything right. Rakesh typed 11. Rakesh typed 11. Come on, Rakesh. It's just one letter. You're still going to be a winner, though. Rakesh, you are also a winner there. Let me keep shuffling the list here real quick. Ja M. You are also a winner there. All right, that's 3. We got 2 more to do here. Let me shuffle this around again here real quick. Hey, our Twitch viewer, Fatty Liver King, you did win. Fatty Liver King, be sure to email WSGTA. We got one more here, folks. Let me reshuffle to the bottom. Let me reshuffle to the bottom here. All right, here we go. Next one, Joe Sloppy. Okay, I hope you're ready for. I hope you're ready for that in your trade room,
real?
David. Joe Sloppy, you are a winner.
Love it, love it, love it.
All right, there you go. There's your 5 more. Go ahead and email the email address on the screen. David will get you set up with that, and good luck. RGTZ, by the way, continuing to pound the highs here.
Boom chakalaka. Here we go, over 10. Like I said, I would give them a little bit of this if I was long. If the RGTI gets to like 50-50, I would definitely start taking some profits. Because that's a previous day low. You can probably get a decent sized bounce off.
Yeah,
but it's still $1.50 away.
I'm with you on that, David. I'm with you on that for sure.
All right, producer, let's post 2 more things up there, and then I won't bother you anymore. All right, WSGTA.com. That is just our regular website. Boom, that's where the new course is located. And the last one is my email. And anybody who's here, come for free and hang out in the trading room for the next 5 days. That is dgreen927@yahoo.com. So those 2 things that I won't bother you anymore. WSGTA.com. Boom. Thank you. And dgreen927@yahoo.com. So, guys, really, there's 500 people in here. Come watch us trade futures. All right? And if you're not interested after that week, but I guarantee you will be, and you'll start trading some futures with a little bit of investment. All right, I'm done selling anything. All right, what else we got, guys and girls? We have slowed down to a dull roar. Gold, guys. Gold just spiked up and it's pulling back. Is there a level for us to get long gold? We spiked up to 74. All right, how about the bottom of the orb and our 30 EMA 61? Let's try to buy a little gold if we spike down to 42.61. That is the bottom of the 15-minute orb and our 30 EMA. And we're small. The trading room is open every day from 8:30 till 4 o'clock. Every single day. And if you come hang out on Tuesday and Thursday of next week, we'll do slow markets where my man Scotty will teach you everything you want to know about futures, even if you've never traded them before. So take advantage, come in, hang out for the week. Does not cost anything to come in there and trade with us. All right, you like 58? I like that better. All right, we have a fib in gold down at 42.5880. So let's take it easy. Let it come in another $5. 42.5880. Ryan, I just want to thank you for the opportunity for being here with you on these Thursdays. Appreciate it. I want to thank Benzinga and anybody who's out here watching. Benzinga.com is the only thing you should be using for news and everything else that they offer you guys. What is it? Benzinga Pro is what we should be looking for.
Yeah, Pro is a subscription. There's a lot of free information that you can get off Benzinga.com. So if you're a little hesitant early on, you should absolutely start with Benzinga.com, create a free account. We have a number of different subscriptions that are going to be applicable for whatever level you're at. Pro.benzinga.com is our main trading newswire. That's what you see me using here every day.
Perfecto. Guys, if you left out 58 and 61 in gold like I did, just cancel it. I took a point out of it and broke even. We just made 58. Let's be patient now. All right, we have absolutely no orders in anything right now. There is nothing to do anywhere. I got nothing. 0.0.
Yeah, I don't have much going on here. The one thing I do have, AQMS, this actually looks like this might try the upper level here and pop. Got this above 19. This has made a pretty good move from the VWAP. Not thrilled about chasing this move. Would have liked to have added this a little bit closer to the VWAP, but it kind of ran away from me. So I'm going to be as disciplined as I can and not chase this. But we saw this thing go absolutely crazy. On Tuesday, this thing traded up towards 40. So
wow.
Just keep it in mind. AQMS spread pretty good. It's kind of all over the place. We are teasing an upside break, but would have rather added this a little bit lower.
Yeah, I mean,
AQMS.
The 15-minute orb breakout is around 1940, which we have basically tested 3 times now. Like you said, we did get the pullback down to the VWAP at the 1750, so that might have been a much better. Well, obviously, that would have been a better entry point. Maybe
and you pulled back in the pre-market. The spike out of the open would have been pretty difficult, but that pullback to the VWAP, that I think was the entry there. To your point, I think that was probably it. don't know that chasing it is the right move here.
And if you look, the first time we spiked up at like 825, we got over an 80 RSI and exactly hit our pivot point. That was a nice short setup for a trade. When we spiked up to 19 and then we pulled back to 17. That was pre-market.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get AQMS back down to the VWAP here. I've currently got it at $18. We're pulling back off that 19 and change. So we'll see if we get a support and an entry there. Jay saying the TSM action isn't great. Remember, they had a double beat here this morning. They were trading higher here in the pre-market. Looks like it's gone red here. Jay, I would totally agree with you. Not great trading action at all. We're actually teasing yesterday's intraday low right now. Look for a 300 break lower here.
If you look at the chart, the 5-minute chart in TSM, we exactly hit the previous day low this morning at 370 cents and spiked up $4 from there. First time down. Exactly hit the previous day low. So I think that's a pretty big area now. We need to hold that because it's tested this previous day low around 300 now, 3 times. So that's a little lot to look if you're looking at it. We got Fed speak right now, 10 o'clock. All right. We got no orders out now, guys and girls. So
okay. David, really good stuff here again. Really appreciate you and Peter. Thanks for giving away accounts. That's always fun too. So really good stuff. We'll check in with you next week. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That is David Green in our Futures Forward segment. We will check in with them next week. Hope you all enjoyed that. And folks, I definitely want to hear if you are liking futures, if you go over there and try it out and you are liking it, let me know. David's departure leaves room for 13. Let's bring him on. 13, you're already making calls out there.
Yes, sir. Having a good time. How about
Let's
you?
go. Tell me about Prax. Tell me about Prax.
Well, it was setting up to break over some of the resistance it was facing at the moment. It looked like it had a bit of a bull flag setup going on there. So I mentioned that if volume can expand soon, we're going to see a move over 175. And we just got that. It actually ran up to 180 and then pulled back. So hopefully some of y'all caught that. That was a nice little move there. We just needed to see that expanding volume, and we were off. So good one there. Rigetti, the RGTZ, the inverse ETF, that doing well today. I also mentioned PAC-B. This is one we talked about in Happy Hour. Like it might have been last year when we talked about this. And
I feel like it was a while ago.
We talked about how this is going to be one of those companies that some biotechs or some large names could come and use their services for. And it's been slowly creeping up. So got a decent position in that, just letting it do its thing. I'll be patient and let it handle itself. But hey, good morning, Jim. So just some things that was going on right now, trading a few things. It's been a good morning. Looking for Mira to recapture that VWAP right now, although I have some misgivings about it because of how low the volume is. We really need to see Mira, MIRA. We need to see that volume expand here if we're going to get back above the VWAP. Otherwise, I think we're going to have a dip with the 200 EMA on the 5-minute.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. We're only 15 cents away from that 200 EMA. I actually would like it if it rolled over and held. I think that'd give me a little bit more confidence on an upside trade there.
Yeah, and then there's also, you guys are talking about AQMS, and this looks like it's trying to get into the 20 handle. But I think more importantly, if we can get over 21, might have a chance at going on a bit of a run to 25. And I don't want to guarantee anything because it might get sold into, but this is the way the setup it looks right now. It looks like to me it's trying to get over 2021 so it can continue its run up to a higher level where there's some more consolidation up around the $25-$26 area.
Okay, we'll see if AQMS gets rolling.
What do I think is the next level? The next level is on Prax. So let me go back to Prax.
I can pull that up here too. 13, no problem.
Let me look at this chart here. There it is. So we did get a move up through that 175 that took us up to 180, and we backed off of that. I don't want to say that we're going to sell off quite yet, but the way the volume's been decreasing, I'm not sure what's going to happen here. We're starting to get a little bit of a lift here. If we can get over this 178.50 level here in just a second, we'll probably see 180 again. Let me look and see what's beyond 180. Let me just look and see what's beyond 180 real quick. Wow, such a huge move in this one today. I think it's like we're looking at some highs back from earlier years in the 2020s. Hold on a second, okay. Just bear with me. I've got some history to go through here. So it does look to me like we might, if we can get above 180, it seems like we're going to have a really good shot of seeing 190 to 200. So 190 back in March of 2022, there was a little bit of sideways consolidation there. And even earlier than that, in October of 2021, that was a support area, 190. So I think that that's going to be a support turn resistance area. I'd be keeping a really close eye on what happens at 190 if we get up there. But if we manage to break through, then there's also some additional resistance at 200, as you can that can be identified from the May 20th, 2022 high, where we tried to recapture 200 and it was absolutely rejected, and we have not been up there since until potentially today. So
Okay,
that's what I see. That's what I see with Prax. Those are the things that have to happen to get up to 200, 190 to 200.
Okay, good stuff there on Prax. Here's WHWK. This is Whitehawk Therapeutics. We talked about this one. This does look like maybe it's trying to make a move back to its VWAP.
Yep. Momentum is looking like it's starting to curl. When I was looking at the daily chart, the gap fill that I was seeing was back from December of 2023, and the where it fills is going to be if you're looking at the wick that it fell from the day before where it fell. That's going to have a value of 515 if you want to target that as your profit taking area. But the real body of that candle doesn't show up until 537. So a couple of areas you could keep an eye on if you think that we're going to get this gap fill today or this week. Just some areas to watch for. But it looks like as we approach that gap fill, it could run into some resistance at around 465.
Okay. Right now, we need that 346 to get that VWAP recapture. Ryan, there was a 30 billion short. The guy said today that was the that was Peter talking about I think it was 20 million, and it was a bet made on Friday.
Looks like some of these moves are trying to turn around. RyoJ is trying to reverse here, but the volume is quite low, so not sure we're going to get a whole lot of upside for the moment. Volume is already not great, and it could get worse in 24 minutes here. So, if you're not sure about a trade, maybe it might not be a great idea to take something, especially in this environment right now. So just be careful. That's all I would want from everybody. Just be careful so we can come back here tomorrow and do this again. Yeah,
not a good-looking daily chart either.
And while you're talking there with Mr. Tuchman and Mr. Green, I was speaking with some folks in the happy hour chat, and we were kind of thinking that we may see some similar action today that we got yesterday. Where we opened higher and then we just kind of sold, a lot of the upside movement that we got, and we're seeing that with a lot of the Max 7s and TSM. And what was interesting is when I was looking at the SPY, we actually had the exact same opening print today as we got yesterday. The exact same opening print. I thought that was kind of weird.
That is weird. That
robotic
is weird. Almost as if like there's math equations and algorithms trading it or something like that, huh?
Mm-hmm. Bitcoin is really starting to fall. Looks like 110K is a loss of that is potentially in the cards here, but let's see if we get support if it hits that level.
And it tried to lose that earlier in the pre-market and bounced pretty hard, took Ethereum with it, but you're right, 13, it's rolling over now.
All right, well, guess what's going on here with Prax?
Is it going to your target?
It's going to my target.
Look at this nice move higher here on Prax.
There we go. Joseph Schmill, I will take a look at iRobot in just a bit, just for you. And there's 191 in Prax. Maybe we see 200. What a ridiculous move. I love it, though. I love it. All right, let's look at iRobot here.
Here, I'm going to put the daily up here. I'm going to step away for just 1 sec. I'll be right back.
Okay, and I apologize in advance for if there's any dead air while I'm taking a look at this. So actually, iRobot also, we may have touched on this yesterday when we were looking at it. This also potentially gap filling here today. Now, the area that it's gap filling, you can, if you look at your daily chart, you can see this from March 11th of this year to March 12th. That's the gap in question right now. And the wick for that is going to be at 607, and the real body starts at 650. So, pretty much from 6 to 650, that's going to be the range of resistance that we're going to want to keep an eye on here. And we're not too far away. We're at the 577 right now. We did get a pop. Let's see, how did we go yesterday? 610. So we did end up hitting the wick yesterday. We were trying to gap fill, but we have not gotten to that 650 level where the real body is. So still potentially could see that today. And I'm not sure what's going to happen next. So if this is just a short-term trade for you, maybe that's probably where you want to take your profits, or maybe shave a little bit off of your position. But that's up to you. You guys have your own trading plan for that. But that's where I see the next area of resistance is when we get that gap fill, not just with the wick, but with the real body. All right. Yeah, squeeze potential. Well, let's see. I didn't even look at that, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It does. So 36.79% of the float shorted, 5.29 days to cover. And, it could be that maybe that 650 area is where some of those, where that pain threshold is for some of the short sellers. So maybe could be right that if we get up there and we start to push past that level, you might see shorts covering. That's absolutely a possibility. So that's a good point. Hey, Ryan.
Hello.
Joseph, you're killing it, man. You're killing it. Well done. All right. Now let's see what is going on here. So it looks like RGTZ is still trying to push up higher. We're approaching that 1016 level that we made before it backed off. So we could see some higher prints here. I don't know, Ryan. Are you thinking that this might be the start of it for Rigetti?
You know what? Yes, but I'm almost worried that it's a little bit of FOMO because I didn't add in the after hours like we talked about on Happy Hour yesterday. I feel like while I'm watching it go down, I talked about this. I did a story this morning about how the CEO converted options to 1 million shares and immediately sold them and holds zero. Mm-hmm. All of that has me worried, but since I don't have any, I do want to see if this bounces from like 50-50. By the way, WHWK is going here, folks.
Just blasted through the VWAP.
Just blasted through the VWAP there. I wonder what the halt level is on this. VWAP here, 345. We had a high of 450 earlier today on this one in the pre-market. This is rolling here. Would not chase it through the VWAP if you had it here. See if it back tests it. That might give you entry.
Yeah, Rigetti, the RGTZ, new highs now. I've got something interesting for our gold lion here. Lion Atlas, if you're still around, take a look at STEX. If you're interested in something, if you want to try and do gold and tokenization at the same time. Take a look at STEX. It's something I'm looking at right now.
Do you want me to take a look at the chart here, or is this like something to research?
It's on a run right now. I don't want to get anybody
got it
excited about it to where they start chasing it. So it's up to you guys if you want to look at it. But I'm just kind of throwing it out there to see what Lion Atlas thinks about STEX.
Okay. WHWK. This is still working. It's trying to go a little bit more here. Volume actually looks pretty decent here. We'll see if this can pop 375 and maybe make a run towards 4. I would say if you have this on the curl, I would probably set a stop just to make sure it doesn't go against you at this point. Nice little move here, though. So at least we finally got a setup there.
All right. Looks like still getting some recovery here from RyoJ, but the volume isn't that great still. WHWK. I almost called this thing Workhorse this morning.
When I first looked at the ticker, I actually thought it was Workhorse. I'm glad I'm not the only one. That makes me feel a lot better. Thank you, 13. Not gonna lie, did the same thing. Was like, better not make that mistake here today.
Nope, but it's out there now. So,
we put that energy into the universe here. Still spiking here. I do want to see if this can take 370. Did grab some of this, so a pop above 370 will lighten this up.
Yes, line STEX. Yep. Just something for you to look into. See what you think.
Okay, good stuff there. WHWK. See if we end up breaking higher here. At least we're 1 for 1. Got the expanding volume that we need. See if we get a pullback to the VWAP or more above 370, 375.
Yeah, I know.
Back in the green side there.
On the surface, STEX really does look interesting. I think.
Here, do you want me to bring this STEX, right? STEX?
I think it would be worthwhile. I mean, if you have time, it's up to you. If you did a little bit of a deep dive into that, I think you might be even more interested. But we'll see. I'm just kind of curious at this point about it. Prax also trying to look. It's looking like it's trying to push to new highs. Current high is 192.77. It's kind of flirting with that area, and now we have new highs.
All you had to do was talk about it, 13. Yep. That's it.
Yep.
Hey, look at AQMS. We talked about this one really kind of running up to the same area. Tested it a number of times here today. I think this was David's orb range right up here at 1950-ish. Look at this pull right back down to the lows. 1615, your 200 EMA. Maybe it finds a little bit of support there. That's AQMS. WHWK, the best one so far. That actually did take 370 up to 375 and immediately pulled. So that's what we were looking for there. All out WHWK. We'll look to reload this one if it comes back to the VWAP, but we'll see how it trades.
Yeah, I think that's about where I'd be looking at too. VWAP,
cool.
maybe a little bit slightly under it, but what I would like to see if that ends up happening to where we do get a print underneath it, I want to see a recapture in the same candle.
I'm with you on that, 100%.
All right. Well, we got a little pullback here from RGTZ. That's coming right back down to the VWAP.
Now,
this might actually start to roll over.
I don't know if you were on when this happened. You might have seen it in the chat. Kathy earlier was saying she's noticed that Rigetti likes to bounce late morning, early afternoon. So with this pullback here, and maybe it looks like it tested 51 on that downside wick, maybe we do end up getting a bounce here. Here's what I would like from you, 13. Looking at either the Rigetti or the RGTZ chart, if we do, in fact, get a bounce, where's the area do you think that we should reload this if the stock stops?
Oh, Jesus, okay.
Well, the reason I'm asking you this way is because I think that, first of all, look at the intraday chart here. Looks like we're holding yesterday's intraday low. So let's just say that the down move here, at least temporarily, is exhausted and we get a bounce. Do we short maybe the, 50, or I shouldn't say short. Do we go look at RGTZ at 56.5, 58? Is there some other upside level that we should be looking at? You tell me what you think there based on the chart.
Can you maybe back out of that 5-minute chart a little bit?
Yeah, you stay on 5-minute, but get you more data?
Yeah. And tell me if you see any patterns emerge.
This kind of looks like a topping pattern to me.
What kind of topping pattern, Ryan?
This one right here. Well, it kind of looks like a head and shoulder. Kind of.
Where would you kind of put the neckline at?
I would kind of put it right up here at 56.
I'd be looking at about 50 to 50-50.
Okay, so you're looking, so even lower. So you think then, so that's interesting because that puts that 50-50-ish level. If we break that, you got to think this is coming in more, don't you?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that if we do break this $50 level, it's going to come down. We'll probably see some support around 48, but I would think that it continues maybe slowly down into the lower 40s before we actually see a bounce. Now, I'm not saying when we see that bounce that we're going to suddenly turn around and print new all-time highs. I mean, that's certainly a possibility. But if we're going to look at this pattern and we're going to expect it to resolve the way that these patterns do resolve, this is going to go lower. It's going to find support, bounce, try to recapture that neckline that I mentioned, and get rejected. And then the real downside is going to start.
Okay, so we're looking then maybe for a completion of this head and shoulders. Now, it is worth noting we've identified this head and shoulders off of an intraday chart here off to 5 minutes. So I don't know how great that's going to be. By the way, WHWK did in fact pull back. Boy, we did a good job selling that one when it's into the spike there. This did pull back to the VWAP. No position yet for me. Kind of want to watch and see how it trades around here, but this did pull back to the VWAP. See if it gives it up.
So yeah, and I do think Rigetti's going to be going lower soon, but I think if we can use this pattern as a bit of a guide to where those bounce spots are, I think we'll be able to trade this in a better capacity to if you want to manage your risk. I think that this would be a great way to do that, just to utilize where the support and resistance levels are and the resolution of this pattern. So that would be if you're not looking to hold this as you're trading to the downside, that would be I think a good way to do it, is to use these levels that they're providing here in these time frames.
Okay. Real quick, WHWK did bounce off of that VWAP. I didn't take it, so I just played that impulse move, but this is bouncing here.
That was a great call, I think. That was a great call.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to try this again, but it didn't really consolidate at all. It just basically tapped the VWAP and immediately started bouncing. So I'm not in it. That initial move through the VWAP, there were several chatters on that one too. That worked. We'll see if this sets up again here, though. Jay, it's not a bubble until it pops. Okay. Zach is saying Rigetti will crash at some point. That's when I'll consider getting back in. So you look to then chase the move to the downside, it sounds like.
You could say that it's chasing, but I think he's looking for more confirmation.
Yeah, which I totally get. I'm not criticizing that. Frankly, I would rather some of these high flyers. I'd rather them confirm the down move too, just to be clear. But nonetheless, I appreciate that. I'm always interested in what if you see this, then I'll do this, because we can talk about that prior to it actually happening, and then others can be ready on the same thing.
Signals, indicators. If you've got them tailored to where it works for you, use that.
Yeah.
And now here's Prax at 200. Ring the register, folks. Ring the register.
You got it. Sorry, apparently I've been slacking on the register rings, but there you go, 13. There you go. So this WHWK did bounce, but it doesn't look like we're getting any more continuation. Now a rollover back to the VWAP. I would say if you tried to play the VWAP bounce just technically here, I wouldn't want this to go against me. If it loses VWAP, I feel like it could knife. So if I was playing from the VWAP, I'd have my stop at or slightly above so that it doesn't go red on me. Here we go. There's a pull to and through the VWAP. This is exactly what I would have wanted to avoid.
Yeah, Lion, that MRK, it is looking pretty good. And we did get a nice bounce off that 50-day SMA. Need to see this recapture the 200 come up next. And then if we can hold for a few days above that 200, I think we're off. I think we're going to be seeing much better upside over the long term. But I think that's going to be the next thing that I need to see happen here. Get above that 200-day SMA again.
And here you go, 13. I think you had talked about this. Maybe it was on a different stock. Maybe I'm confusing it. But WHWK, we did peak beneath that VWAP. We are in the process right now of trying to recapture it. I don't feel like we actually get a recapture until the candle closes. It's kind of figuring out where it wants to go right now. But we're at that level. We'll see if this gets recaptured. Anita is asking, what does VWAP mean? VWAP means volume weighted average price, and it is a indicator that is in probably every broker or trading platform that you have. If you look at an intraday chart like I have on the screen right here, this very thin blue line, this is the VWAP that's drawn. Again, it's drawn based off of the price and the volume, which makes it valuable. We use it for intraday trading as a potential resist and support area that our chart plots for us. Let me know if that answers your question.
Two things. So one, I want to comment on what Lion is saying about NVO, and then BTC. I just noticed that dropped beneath 110, and now it looks like it's starting to put in a bit of a reversal. I don't know about this current candle. I would wait for this one and the next one to close to see if we're going to get the reversal or not. But it looks like based on the how it's creating these wicks on the bottom, it looks like the buyers are really trying to step in and keep it back above 110. So just something to watch for here with BTC. Could cause some of the crypto names to turn around. And as far as NVO goes, there's a segment of that business for alcohol disorder that I think is going to be pretty important going forward, because as some of you may know, RFK is very, very big into health and alcohol disorders. So I think that's going to be a very big angle for NVO in the future. So just wanted to point that out. It may be worthwhile to dig into their alcohol disorder segment.
And that that dovetails with some of the GLP-1 products. We've heard about people that take those where they really just can't even really drink alcohol anymore. So you wonder if there's some synergy there with that.
Yeah. And here we go. Bitcoin really starting to recover off of that loss of 110. Now coming back up. Still need to see a little bit more movement, though. The indicator to add.
I would say yes.
Yeah, that's one I always use.
I very much like the VWAP. I use it all the time. I would recommend that. Yes.
All right, and it's. We don't have a whole lot of time left in this current candle for WHWK, and it looks like we are going to close right back above the VWAP, and we could see some higher prints of the regular session once we get this.
375 still looks to be that upside level to break. Fatty Liver here saying GLP-1 acts centrally and is shown to reduce addictive behaviors. You're right on the money, Ryan. I'd be curious to know what you think. Do you think that because of that, it's going to be FDA approved for other use cases and thus sell more of those products? That's kind of like the long-term bull thesis that we've talked about with some of these GLP-1s and even drugs like tirzepatide as well. We're wondering if maybe there's another leg higher for some of these like NVO, Lilly, some of these other companies that produce that stuff, because maybe there's a segment that can be helped by these drugs. I'd be curious to know if you think that's on like the future path there, Fatty Liver. You have to let me know.
Getting mentioned with MASK is a penny stock that's up 33% right now. Let me see what the news is. Amends convertible notes offering. Announces amendment to its 7.4 million convertible notes offering. So if you're able to look at the Form 6 that was filed today, the news about all this is in there. Don't know what that amendment looks like or anything. You'd have to read the form that was filed. But that's what's moving it.
Fatty Liver says, I think they will likely be more approved for the metabolic side. Yeah, I think that's where we're going. I'm just wondering if maybe there's like another aspect that we could add to the bull case there. But that's good. We'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. Let me go back to my main workspace here.
So now that we hit 200 in PRAX, we're starting to get a little bit of pullback here. So that
look, guys. WHWK. Look at what just happened here.
Ooh.
Big time knife through the VWAP. We just spent time talking about how it has to hold VWAP. Then we discussed the importance of the VWAP there. Here, let me turn these moving averages off again, just so it's that much easier to see. The thin blue line here, we wicked down to it. That third attempt, man, it went right through it. And look what happened. There's more extended selling to the downside. That tells me that there were traders in here, short-term traders, that had stops at or near the VWAP. As soon as the stock broke it, there was more selling added onto it. That drove the price lower. Next step here for WHWK, where does this firm up? Where does it show some support? Maybe it doesn't, but this is one of the things we'd be looking at for alongside. Go in there, 13.
Yeah, I'm just drawing a trend line here so that if we do get some support, and I would think that is going to come down, if it does come down lower, the support that I'd like is around the 65 EMA. If we get that support there, then this trend line, I'd be looking for a retest. But I think VWAP will get a retest of first. This is this could be minutes away.
Yeah, I think this is what you're talking about here, right? Trend line wise.
And look at Prax now falling under 190, getting some support, but this thing is starting to look like it could roll over.
Just passing through says, I see VWAP as intraday home base. I like that. I as a baseball fan, I like that. I feel better about if a stock is like ripping and it comes back into VWAP, I do feel like it's more at home base. I feel better about initiating a new position there. And then on the flip side of that, if you're adding it at some lower support level and it trades up to VWAP, I think the same is true. There's definitely some resistance there. I like that home base. I might reuse that. Just passing through. That's good.
All right, let's see what else we got here. So Prax still trying to recapture 190. Volume's looking less and less appealing.
So you're talking about Prax, the chat's talking about Mask. Mask here, this is a penny stock, so be careful with it, but this is ramping on some decent volume here. It looks like 80 cents was the high that rejected it. I've got VWAP at 67. This is MASK, 3E Networks, penny stock ripping to the upside.
We're just a couple minutes away from the 10:30 time where we do see volume leave.
Yes,
so some of these names, if they're not working, they may continue to not work. Just keep that in mind. Looks like, what's been a really interesting mover this morning? It's not really a mover, but it's been trading really nicely is SLNH. It's had a pop up to 514, immediately knifed shortly after. And then it found support around 414 and reversed. And now we're almost back up to 5. Just a lot of nice back and forth trading, price action here. Provided some really good setups.
13, I'm just flipping to this chart right now. I see a trend line here.
All right.
I see a little bit of a trend line here.
Now, where do you have your VWAP at? Because I think if we can hold that, if it pulls back and we can hold above VWAP, or maybe the 65 EMA seats are pretty close to each other, I would think that the next visit of this trend line would be something to watch for. If volume is expanding at the same time, could get a break through that.
Also, we definitely want to wait this out a little bit more, because maybe this volume contracts a little bit and really kind of changes the way we look at it. Maybe we come back in to the VWAP there. So, okay.
Mask pushing up to 85 cents now. Oh, it just hit 84 and had a little pull.
This was a really good mention. Crow was on this one. Someone else mentioned Mask too. Dan, you had mentioned this, and then someone before. Yeah, it was Crow earlier. There were a couple of you that were looking at this before it actually made this pop that we're currently looking at. Really good stuff. Bitcoin. I know I don't look at the pennies as much as you guys do, but good call nonetheless.
Bitcoin really having a nice reversal right now. If this continues, the resistance that I am looking at to where this reversal might stop could be at about maybe just shy of 111, but it seems like 110 and 800 might be the earliest spot where you could see resistance.
Just some guy, Tennessee. I was tempted on Mask until I saw that they're in China. There you go. You're not the only one that does that, by the way.
Seeing that producers saying that Kathy sold some Archer yesterday. Is that a triple top on the Archer chart? Let's look here.
And here, so real quickly, just as a discussion point here, Fatty Liver, I appreciate all the insight. Also, the pill form is going to be huge. That he's referring to the pill form of the GLP-1s there. I see a ton of patients in the GP clinic that do not want shots. They create infection risk in hospital, and it's not ideal for grandma with shaky hands. So this is another thing that we have discussed quite a bit here. Here's what I'd like to know from you. We've seen data come out that show that the pill is not as potent as the shot itself. So in your opinion, what needs to happen for that pill to really be the next ramp of this GLP-1 business? Some folks that I know that take GLP-1s, they do injections themselves. They say it's easy, but you're bringing up an excellent point here. Grandma with shaky hands probably can't do that. There are a lot of people that are afraid of needles and don't want to stick themselves with things, even if the needle's very tiny. I totally get it. Not a huge fan of needles myself, to be quite honest with you. But as far as this pill, what do we need to see in terms of efficacy to know whether or not this is actually going to compete and then overtake some of those injections? I'd like to know what you think about that. I don't know what the answer is.
So when it comes to Archer, and this is going to be a little bit tough, but there's a couple of, so you've already got them up there, the trend lines that I'd be looking at. We're trying to get across this one we're currently at right now with that's at about 1365-ish. 2 days now we've been rejected at this trend line. I don't want to see a third. If we see a third, we're probably coming back in. What I prefer to see, and this would be ideal, is if we get this move up through the trend line that was currently resisting us and hit the one that's above it. That's what I'm looking at. I don't think that this is a triple top, because we kind of already got that a little bit earlier this month when we came back in, but we found support and we broke through that triple top area. So but we didn't close above it. So that's where the question mark still exists because we didn't close above it. So we need to see this. We need to close above this trend line, this one that we're dealing with right now, in order to reach that second one that's above it. We don't get that, then I think we're coming back in. But it's still a bit of a question mark here for me because we did already kind of triple top, and now we're back to testing the same area again. We just need to see that breakthrough follow through.
Yeah, and basically this is giving us wicks above that trend line. This just looks like a peak above rather than an actual break and move to that higher trend line there.
Johnny, that's a tough one because I think they're both going to be fine. There's going to be, we're going to see these things everywhere. It's just going to take some time. I think both Archer and Joby are doing really good moves. Joby might actually be making some of the better moves, but it seems like Archer has a little bit more momentum in certain aspects. So I really don't want to kind of explore or comment too much on which one's better than the other because I still think they have some really good things going for both of them. I couldn't tell you which one's going to be better in the long run. It seems like they both are going to be good.
My gut feeling tells me Archer, but I have no scientific data to base that gut feeling off of. By the way, Fatty Liver, I appreciate this. I can only speak to the practicality. My opinion is that I don't think we need to optimize the efficacy to be as good as the shots. Interesting. I think even if it's somewhat as effective, and Mike, I think you were saying it's within 10% of the injections. I hadn't seen that, but that would be really good. I think if it's even somewhat as effective, it will be something that patients opt for. I think the bigger issue is the side effect profile. I could not agree with you more. It's one of my big things for me on the GLP-1s. I'm worried about some of those side effects, in particular leaky gut, but we won't go there. I think whether or not patients can tolerate it, but in terms of pharmacokinetics, you should probably get more insight from a pharmaceutical researcher. Fair enough. I still think your insight there is valuable. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the pill actually does when those come out. Really good stuff, though.
Great really mention on SOND. This had a nice pop just a moment ago that took it up through the 265 EMAs, but still ran into some of the sideways consolidation from the pre-market where it is currently getting rejected. So now it's trading back beneath both those EMAs, looking to get some support at about 125. So we'll see if it reverses here and tries to go higher. Got to hang on to this kind of volume. So this volume starts to wane, and it's coming back in. Yeah, it could very well since it's past that 10:30 time. This would be something that I would take an extra grain of caution on. It is a great day, and Archer does seem like it's the early winner. And then okay. So just you're saying that there's seemingly expert opinion shifted more towards Joby because and that's the thing. Like they both, like I said, they both have good things going for them, and it might be that Joby ends up being better. It could also be that Archer could end up being better. But remember, these companies both don't make money yet. They're still ramping up production. They're still getting I think in Archer's case, I think there's still certifications they need. But this is we're still early with the EV tools. But I think they're going to be everywhere.
I think that's a good point, 13. I think we might be too early to really make an educated guess on which one's going to quote win versus lose. You know what I mean? I feel like that there could be a long runway before we end up figuring that out.
And next year, there's Archer is supposed to be transporting Olympians to and from their events. So yeah, that might be a big debut event for Archer to where it's finally going to start seeing some revenue flow in. But don't quote me on that because that's just a thought. I don't know when Archer actually gets going, but that is an event that is coming up next year, and that's going to likely drive the stock. It could drive the stock in different directions, but I think it's going to you see some upward momentum from it. Yeah, we don't need to show you no stake in profit. Just buy.
Slam it. Slam that buy button.
Prax's not done either. This is still coming back up towards 200. As a matter of fact, it's looking like it's trying to hit it right now.
Crow saying Mask is not done. That's your penny stock. Has that graduated to dollar territory yet? SLI, by the way, this is what we talked about about this lithium move higher. This is retraced more than 50% of that move already. Not great. NVA, Kathy, I think you were on this one too. This came back and gave up its VWAP. Would love to see that recapture the VWAP.
Thoughts on JNUG?
RYOJ doing its thing where it traps everybody again. Looked like it was going to curl and then immediately slammed and went right back down to where it started. That thing's dangerous.
You know, if you don't think this that gold's done, this is probably one of them that you could grab and hang on to. But I don't think I'd be buying it right here. This is you're buying it when it's still on a run, and I'm not sure how much more is left in this run before you see some pullback. So I think if you're still bullish on gold and the miners, I don't think I'd be buying JNUG right now. I'd probably buy this on a pullback if that was my thought. That if I think gold is still going to go higher. Lithium high of the day. That's funny. Take care, Michelle.
Take care of yourself. Time to go play fetch with the dog. You're about to have a wonderful day. What kind of dog? Enjoy it, Michelle. Thanks for your support and kind words.
Man, it's a massively priced stock, but Prax is it's been a massive winner, going from what was this, like $60? Initial pop took it up to 160 almost, and then we had that break over the one. Actually, it's more like 155, and then we had that move over 155 at 8:40 this morning, and we have not looked back.
An English Springer Spaniel. Those are so cute. Those are so cute. My buddy had one of those when I was younger.
Uh-oh, we're getting asked about Grail Incorporated.
GRAL, you mean?
This has news today. This has news that is absolutely sending it. We're going to have a talk in happy hour later.
Okay, Grail shares are trading higher after the company announced it signed a binding letter of intent for strategic collaboration with Samsung C&T and Samsung Electronics to bring its Galleri multi-cancer early detection test to Asian markets. Samsung C&T and Samsung Electronics has also agreed to invest $110 million into the company. You're not kidding, 13. This is definitely something we should take a look at.
Yeah, and C&T is construction and trading.
Thank you.
So Samsung Construction and Trading Corporation. Yeah, at $70 a share, man. Okay, well, I can't really give a good opinion on this because this thing's kind of on a run. Let me draw a trend line, and I'll give you what might end up being a dumb level.
Your Bitcoin bounce, by the way, that you had literally called in real time, 13, that is continuing as well. Ethereum going with it.
Excellent. It looked like 110 was getting some defense there as soon as it fell underneath it. And those wicks I was mentioning, that was the buyer stepping in. So that certainly is looking like that was the case. Now, the thing about Grail is that we are pretty extended. Could still see this go higher. It could just keep on running. But if this does continue to go higher, and please understand that this is kind of what I think to be a dumb level, it could go to 107, 108. I don't know how soon that happens, or if we'll even get there. But just based on the trend going back since last year, that's what I would see next. That's what I think is coming up here. Just might need the rest of this month, maybe sometime in November we see it, but that's where I would kind of think this eventually goes based on the trend line. So we'll see.
Okay. Jay here saying these AI commodity plays won't stop. We've been taking a look at those. We talked about frankly we called them storage plays. I think the last time that we talked about them, to be quite honest. But you're right, they will not stop. We even talked about looking for potential areas to short these. I think it was with Derek Oldensmith. I can't remember which T3 guy, but we had talked about this. This was a couple of weeks ago. STX probably gave us the best move down. But man, oh man, these keep catching a bid. Look at WDC. Jay, let me ask you, where would you consider shorting these? And if so, where?
Well, with STX, I think that might be an easy answer. If you look at the daily chart, I'm not so sure I like the formation it's getting here.
Head and shoulder again?
It kind of looks that way. So let's do this. Let's see how well it holds up the 20-day SMA. It's currently above it right now, but let's see what happens, today. And I would say, Well, let's see. Since we only have today and tomorrow left in the week, let's just see what happens the rest of the week. If we can, hold above it and maybe even try and move towards, I don't know, 235. I think this is kind of the area that I'd be watching to see if we can hold above that 20-day SMA for more than 3 days. Now, today would be the first if we close above it. Tomorrow would be the second, and then we would have to see what happens on Monday. So I think for me, I'm just kind of waiting to see if this is going to be topping out or if it's just going to completely invalidate this potential head and shoulders pattern. That's what I'd be watching for. Ain't no problem with Moses. So Jay has got TEM and GRAL as his 2H bio AI names.
That makes sense. What's funny is that GRAL is something that we have discussed in happy hour. Really quickly, just to answer this question, learn with Moses. How can I sit in on the happy hour session? Guys, we've mentioned this a bunch of times. It's always going to be the same. The only way that you can get into happy hour is being a subscriber of Benzinga Pro. That's it. That's the only requirement. Well, I guess the other requirement is that you have to click the banner and sign up once you are. But the real answer that you're looking for, no, I cannot give you a temporary link. No, I cannot go around it because I'm nice and I like all of you. No. If you want to sit in on happy hour, you have to be a Benzinga Pro subscriber. I'm sorry. One of the things I will do for you, and 13 has been great to do this as well, is we will continue to bring discussions to this platform that we have in happy hour. But if you want the actual in-depth discussion, please sign up for Benzinga Pro and join us. The other thing about that is that we encourage, and 13, please back me up on this because you're a shining example of this. We encourage folks that join to bring things to the group's attention. Maybe it's a question that you have. Maybe it's something that you saw, a stock idea or something like that. Maybe you just want to learn. Participate. It makes everyone around us better.
And it's been great having so many amazing minds in this group as well. I mean, Markets and Mayhem joins us from time to time, and he's always bringing tons of great information. We have another gentleman that just joined, started joining us earlier this month, Hakeem, and he's been bringing a lot of great information too. So I love that we're getting more people that are bringing their own knowledge and research into the group, and it's making all of us just so much better at doing this. And I encourage everybody to at least try and get pro and use it and join us in the happy hour. If you've got stuff to add, we'd love to hear it too. But it is just such a great conversation at the end of the day. It makes me a lot more confident, going into the next day, just having that information ready to go and kind of getting a sense of understanding what's about to happen.
It puts things on my radar too. Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes I'll be locked in on something and then we'll have a discussion in happy hour. I'll be like, I didn't even think about that earlier. What was I doing? Then I'll be more prepared for the next session.
Samel has recently joined us. We love having her in there. Richard's been in there many times. And thanks for joining us here today, Richard. We'll see you later. And it's just really some of the greatest brain power in that room or in that meeting. So I would encourage everybody if you can. I would encourage. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is indeed power. By the way, take a look at AQMS. We talked about this one earlier. Possibly moving over that 1950 area, was rejected at it a handful of times. Look where we're going. We're resolving lower now. Wouldn't even be shocked if this traded into a 15 handle.
Yeah, and I've got no open trades right now. Things really have slowed down, but it's been an absolutely great morning. Big B's also joins us too. He's here in pro, or he's here in
yes, sir.
So.
And then Harvey, real quick, saying, I'm a member. How can I find it? At the bottom of the platform here, there will be a teal, green, bluish colored banner. Mm-hmm. And when you click on it, you can sign up for it. So that banner normally appears anywhere between 30 to 20 minutes prior to it starting. It starts right at the close. Yeah, and if you have trouble seeing that or anything like that, just put a message or something in happy hour. We'll see it and we'll try to get you in. Yeah, and Lambo Roll says, I'll have to start joining your happy hour if I'm not at my own whiskey glass. That's the other thing about happy hour. We encourage you, as long as you can keep it under control. It's not in name only. It's not in name only. Yeah. Not in name only, but yeah.
All Oh man. All right. Well, hey, Prax now at 204.
And then X Sniper, I know you're asking about the price. This is why I keep telling you to reach out to James. We have multiple different levels and then multiple different lengths that gives you a different price. So I can't just answer it for you. The retail price is in fact $197 a month, but especially now, look, you didn't hear this from me, but with Black Friday coming up here, there's probably going to be a deal. We might even have a pre-Black Friday deal going now. Should probably reach out to James. I feel like I say that every day. He'll help you find the best possible price.
You know, kind of looking around at some of these movers and SOND, if we can hold this area here around 125, I think I mentioned that level earlier. We can hold this 125 level. There's a possibility we might be able to see this turn around. It's just going to be missing that volume component, which, admittedly right now we're probably not going to get a lot of, but just keep an eye on this on SOND, that 125 area. That looks like that's going to be the last support area before this hits before it has the low of the session as the next support.
Gary reminding us all that you need no encouragement for bourbon.
Mm-hmm. Just a reason.
Just in case. Just in case.
Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, James is the man.
I don't see anything great here on my scanner. It's kind of been slim pickings here. Today we had one good one with WHWK that eventually knifed. Look at it with knifed away from the trend line too. I mean, I don't know. Here's RGTZ. This is continuing to trade higher here. We'll see if this pulls back and gives entry on that. Rigetti, where's Rigetti at right now? Rigetti at $51, doing its best to hold on to that. 50-50, probably your next support area there.
It's moving slow, and I'm not sure how great it's going to be. But Mira Pharmaceutical, that's turning around to recapture after hitting 198. It's recapturing the 200 EMA, moving its way towards VWAP. But I get the sense that there's quite a bit of supply in the way, so I'm not sure how great this is going to be if it's going to get through VWAP or the 65 EMA. But those are some of the targets it's coming up to here. So if it can get through, I'd say 215. If we can get through 215, there's a much better chance that we get up to the VWAP and the 65 EMA. But I'm just not sure about the volume right now. It does not look that great. Maybe I should just stop talking because there's really only one thing that we should be keeping an eye on, and that's RGTC.
Ondas, another break lower here. I know last 2 days have been painful for Ondas, but folks, it's been months of going up almost every day. Please tell me that you guys took some gains. Please don't tell me that you're holding your whole position, trying to become a millionaire overnight. Please.
Where do you like support?
For Ondas?
Mm-hmm.
Let me bring up the bigger chart here and we'll do that. I really liked the 20, but I think we actually broke that here today. Let me grab this chart here for you. All right.
We're down under it right now, but we still have a whole day left. Yeah.
So I want to see. I'm more interested in the close than the actual number itself. So the 20-day moving average here, 895. We're under that here, like you were saying, by about 15 cents. If we close back above this, I would still say that the 20 is intact. But the one thing that I was pointing out yesterday is on this big run up, the pullbacks towards the 20 never actually touched the 20. Now we have touched the 20. So I actually wouldn't even be surprised if this came in. I do think that this 880, 875, I do think this is a pretty good support level here. The further one beneath that, probably this little range in here. I wouldn't call it a specific point. I would call it this, what do you call it? A supply area? 740 maybe to 7 to 8.
If it's under the price, it's demand area. If it's
demand area,
price,
sorry.
It's supply. No, it's okay.
Sorry. 730-ish, 740 to 8 is probably your next area here. But remember, look again, just look where this was. This thing was a penny stock earlier this year, folks. This was 69 cents in May. We've been over $11. There's been plenty of time to make money on this. So I understand it's pulling back here. That shouldn't really bother you, to be quite honest with you. Unless you chased it, then you have some other questions to answer.
I think if you look at a weekly chart, the possibility of this going higher is a little clearer. Following some more pullback, I think we could still see another week, maybe the rest of the month of this pulling back. But I do like the area between 7 and 8 as a demand zone. Maybe I could even include 6 to 8. But this thing has gone up a lot. Also, this week on the weekly chart, we now have a golden cross. I think that we're still going to end up going higher, but we're going to be seeing some more selling before that. So that's what I would think here. And like I said, I guess I would kind of put it somewhere between 6 and 8. Don't like you. I'm not exactly sure where that demand's going to kick in, but I absolutely think this needs to come back in, and I still think this could end up going higher, back into the double digits.
Okay.
Now,
and don't forget, I'm interviewing the CEO tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m.
Having said that, let's go back to SOND and see how that is working.
Okay, we got to do it quick though, because we got to move to an all access here, 13. So give us this, and then your closing thoughts.
Oh, I don't think I need to say much. It worked.
The pullback and hold here.
It held above the 125.
Yep.
We're getting our move back up. Now we just need to see a little bit more volume expansion. I say it worked like it's already done. It's not done. It's working. But we still have that 200 EMA and the 65 EMA in the way. That has been suppressing the price all morning. So if we get this volume expansion here, it could take us over not only those two EMAs, but through the consolidation from the pre-market. So we need to see volume here.
All right, 13, any closing words for the group here?
Hey, another fun day. Lots of downside, but you know what? Opportunities abound. So let's just make sure we're not losing our hats here. And maybe for me, I might be done trading today. Don't want to get myself involved in anything that's still going down. But you know what? I think we're going to come back here tomorrow and have some more fun times. So, folks, I'll see you then. Take care, folks. Those of you that are going to join us in happy hour, I'll see you then. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you, 13. Really good stuff. Again, we will be back tomorrow. Again, we're going to be talking to the Ondas CEO in the morning prior to the market open. No Mark Petrino tomorrow. We will have him back the following week, and then we'll get 13 as soon as that interview is done. Thanks, all of you, for your support, kind words, and trading here today. Stay green, stay safe, stay focused. I'm going to send it over to All Access right now.
Thanks, Ryan. And hey, Zingers, and welcome to All Access. I've got a wonderful guest for you today. It is Rick McPherson, the founder, president, and CEO of Birchtech Corporation. Their TSX ticker is BCHT. He's joining us for an exclusive talk today. All Access starts right now. And it is my pleasure to welcome in the founder, president, and CEO of Birchtech Corporation, Rick McPherson. Rick, great to be with you today.
Likewise, Dan.
Well, let's get right into it. As the parent company of ME2C, which I know is focused on cleaner technologies, and WE2C, which is focused on water purification, why is Birchtech operating in these two areas of clean tech? And is there a lot of growth in those segments of the market right now?
Yeah, sure. So we've been in the air purification side for the last 14 years now, working commercially and successfully in that field, capturing mercury emissions from coal-fired plants. And then we broadened out with the skill set base that we had, added a bunch of new talent to the team, and moved into the water treatment business about 3 years ago. So we've been working under the radar for these past 2-3 years and are now just coming up with some commercially viable developments that we've made across the board in a number of different areas in clean water purification that we're really excited about.
Always a good thing to add new talent, as you all know. And let's talk about how Birchtech is strengthening ME2C and the company's water commercialization business.
Yeah, sure. So we started about 1.5 years ago building a couple of very significant facilities, one in North Dakota and another in Pennsylvania. The one in North Dakota is focused on analytical capacities for analyzing and being able to provide really solid feedback, top-notch scientific feedback to water utilities across the country. And it's getting very busy right now while we focus on trying to help people figure out how to get ahead of the PFOA and PFAS regulations. And the design center that we built in Pennsylvania is focused on reactivation and being able to take people's spent carbons GAC in particular, reactivated with our customized approach of adding in roughly about 10% that's lost in the process, and being able to produce an end product that's got 100% of efficacy of a brand new virgin GAC at half the cost.
That is definitely exciting stuff. And I know the company, Rick, filed a patent lawsuit in July of 2024. Can you tell us a little bit about that suit and where it stands today?
Sure. So actually, the trial was finished, and we were awarded $57 million by the jury at that time, middle of 2024. And since that time, the court, through the judge, of course, has come back and rendered two very solid opinions in our favor that have either dismissed any claims that the defendants had to try to walk from the verdict, and also reinforce significant matters such as willful infringement. So we're just sitting now waiting for the final judgment to come down. Although we were awarded $57 million at trial, our attorneys have asked the court to take a look at $160 million as the final judgment number, taking into consideration the willfulness of the infringement, the legal fees, and the interest from the date of filing of the suit, since it was willful. So we're looking forward to getting that judgment in the coming weeks, and it will be a real pivot point for the company.
I know that's great news. And also the company recently inked a non-exclusive agreement with 3 coal-fired power utilities that were defendants in the lawsuit. Can you tell us about those agreements? And can we expect, Rick, similar announcements in the future?
Yeah, sure. So that was a follow-on lawsuit, which is still pending. We started out with 14 different defendants in that post the trial in federal court. And so far, 6 of the participants in that suit have settled. We're very pleased with that. We're looking forward to moving forward with the rest to settle away the rest of the outstanding cases with those defendants. And I expect you'll hear more news from us in the very near future as we're having very successful discussions on that front.
Yeah, and Rick, you had mentioned obviously how big settling this lawsuit will be for the company and going forward. And when you just look kind of the big picture, when do you think the lawsuit will be behind the company, and what does it mean to the future of Birchak to have it settled?
Well, it's been a long battle. Dan, we've been at this now for 6-7 years. A great deal of time, energy, and expense. But at some point, you need to stand up and protect the rights of the shareholders, the patents that you had issued. And I think that'll all be behind us this fall for sure. With the opinions that have come out recently, we feel very strong about the ability for us to go forward from a collectability point of view. Now, what it means for the company, of course, a very, very solid support of capital for our continued growth into the water market and our company's health overall.
I love it. Great times ahead for Birchak. Obviously, we wish you nothing but the best with all that stuff. Rick, it was an absolute pleasure talking with you today. I want to thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, Dan, as always. Thank you.
My true honor and pleasure, Rick. That was the founder, president, and CEO of Birchtech Corporation, Rick McPherson. Their TSX ticker is BCTH. Now let's send it back to the great Ryan Faluda.